Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Fortune of Nations. Marriage Game, Thousands of Dimension Templates. Chapter 61. Freysa just let out a roar, and the airwave he set off rushed towards him. Both Yumo and Kyle felt the powerful oppressive force emanating from this SS strength boss at the same time. The Chinese citizens who saw this scene were stunned, and immediately began to worry. What? A boss with SS level strength? Did you make a mistake? This is the first SS strength monster to appear in every country in the world. The strength of SS. This strength is beyond the standard, so Yu Shen took Kyle as a wife, will he not be able to beat? We have to believe in you, God. Yu Shen is already very strong, and now he has added a sister-in-law, and he will definitely be able to defeat it. God bless you, I hope Yu Shen can save the day. Come on, God, come on, sister-in-law. At this time, the nationals of various countries who were hostile to the Chinese people saw that Yumo had encountered a SS boss, and they all became excited in 097. Great gift crab. SS the powerful boss Hua Zhang is doomed. Ha 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 ha, that's great. This giant dragon will definitely devour this Chinese man. Yuxi, this Washa Gubi is finally going to die here. I don't believe he can beat a SS strength boss. HMPH, Yuwasha people will not be rampant for long. Once you, the Emperor of Europe, die, you will be on the verge of destruction. Great, we finally have a chance to turn things around. China's pegging ratio will kill me. The faces of everyone in the Washa official meeting room also changed drastically at this time. Looking at the terrifying dragon that was several times bigger than Yumo and Kyle. Everyone worried. SS a mighty dragon. Yumo is in danger. Yumo is still underestimating the enemy. Why can I only ask a wife to help? Although Yumo's strength is already very strong, does Bo$S have a chance of winning against Buddha 10 Loyalty SS? My God, our European emperor won't fall today. Even the face of the great elder became dignified. He stared at the live broadcast without saying a word. In the game world, as soon as Yumo came in, he checked Frieza's abilities through his own dimensional template system. Target: Boss Dark Spirit Demon Dragon. Name: Freysa. Strength: SS. Attributes: Skill. Evaluation: the strength is unpredictable, you and Kyle need to use all their strength to barely win. Yumo was startled secretly. This is the first time that the target data cannot be read. It can be seen from this that as long as the opponent's strength is above his own, you can't read the other party's data accurately. And after Feng Ju became pregnant, her stats also improved again. Player: Yumo. Personal rewards: Soul Beast Divine Power S+, Qingqiu Immortal Technique S+, Angel Body S. National Fortune Rewards: Star Blessing plus Qingqiu Shanan S+, Angel Gift S. Attributes: Body 101 to 116, Strength 121 to 136, Sensitivity 99 to 114, Wisdom 141 to 156, Charm 101 to 116. Skills: Explosive Killing Bajuan S, Invincible Golden Body S, Mind Control S, Fierce Fox Fire S, Teleportation S, Angel Shield S, Flame Holy Armor S. Flame Barrier S, Create a flame barrier, control the opponent's actions, and cause magic damage at the same time. Equipment: Pegasus Meteor Gloves Epic Grade, Dream Bagua Pendant Epic Grade. Even if his own attributes are all over 100, but Freysa's ability data is still higher than his own. It can be seen from this that there is a difference between the strength of SS and S. Even if it's just an extra S rating, that difference is also a huge span. It seems that this battle cannot be won without shedding some blood. At this moment, Freysa also roared in a low voice, and spoke. How dare you disturb me? Act recklessly. In the next second, Freysa opened his bloody mouth, and suddenly shot out a dark purple energy cannon. Blast towards Yumo and Kyle directly. Avoid. At this time, Yumo, who looked very serious, shouted suddenly. Immediately, his legs exerted strength, and he jumped to one side to avoid it. At the moment of dodging, Yumo also used the skill, Flame Sacred Armor. Put on the Holy Armor buff that can improve the defense power for yourself, and at the same time add fire to your attack. And Kyle quickly flapped his wings and flew towards the sky above the cave. The two managed to evade Frieza's first attack. when the energy cannon ejected by Fraser hit the stone wall of the cave. Violent shaking seemed to take place throughout the cavern. At this moment, the hard stone wall was blown out of a huge pit. The shattered rocks splashed like a torrential rain. Although Kyle was also shocked by Fraser's powerful strength, he still exerted his full strength. Swinging the flaming holy sword in his hand, he slashed out a flaming sword aura. From the midair, he slashed straight at Fraser's head. And Yumo also blasted a heavy punch with Kyle at the same time. The fist with the element of fire is now like a flame ray. Straight to Fraser's huge head. Boom, clang. The two attacks hit Fraser's cheek with precision. Immediately there was a faint smell of burning in the air. But when Yumo and Kyle took a closer look, they found that their attack only left two slightly burnt wounds on Fraser's cheek. It didn't hurt Fraser much. The painful Fraser entered a state of rage at this time. Roar, little ants, how dare you fight me? Then I will let you know how small you are. After all, the furious Fraser immediately flapped his huge wings and flew up. It exploded with a speed that didn't match its huge size. Immediately rushed towards Kyle in midair. Yumo saw that Fraser's primary target was not himself, but Kyle in midair. After being shocked, he immediately broke out with all his strength, and the attacking route against Fraser was to blast out the skill, Fierce Fox Fire. Try to hit Frieza before it can attack Kyle, blocking its sudden attack on Kyle. But Fraser's speed was too fast when the Fierce Fox Fire hit it. It's just that a scorched streak ignited on its abdomen, but it didn't stop its attacking figure. At this time, Fraser's sharp claws had already slapped Kyle in midair with all his might. The Chinese nationals watching the battle were so terrified that they didn't dare to take a breath. The attacks of Yu Shen and Kyle didn't cause much damage to this giant dragon. As expected of a powerful SS boss, it's too strong. What should I do? I feel that Yu Shen and sister-in-law Angel are going to die here. Don't be crow's mouth upstairs. Be careful, I will cut you along the network cable. Sister-in-law, be careful. And the nationals of various countries who are hostile to the Chinese people are very excited at the moment. Yes, I just said that this Washa kid can't beat this giant dragon. The strength of this boss is really too strong, that Washa person can't beat it at all. Ha 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 ha, it's so cool, Washa has been ahead of us by so much these days, and it's finally about to stop. Come on, Frey, kill this Chinese man for me. Yoshi, avenge all our Sakura citizens. And how can Kyle's strength be underestimated? The moment of the holy judgment. Seeing Fraser coming straight towards him, Kyle quickly held the holy sword in front of his chest with both hands. A golden light shield quickly appeared around Kyle's body. There are many inscriptions engraved on the light shield, shining brightly under the crimson holy light at this moment. Boom, accompanied by Fraser's huge and incomparably sharp claws. The light shield protecting Kyle forcibly withstood Fraser's thunderous blow. Although the combination of Kyle and the light shield on his body is less than half the size of Fraser's palm. But at this moment, Fraser, who was bombarding with all his strength, couldn't shake Kyle's figure at all. And the moment its sharp claws came into contact with the light shield on Kyle's body, bursts of hot flames burst out from the surface of the light shield, directly burning all of Fraser's sharp claws. Seeing that Kyle was fine and managed to block Fraser's heavy blow, Yumo couldn't help saying pleasantly in his heart. The moment of judgment. Kyle's skill, invincible big move. My wife really knows how to do this. Roar. Fraser let out a cry of pain, and then landed on the ground from midair. Looking very annoyed at Kyle, who also flew back to 25 behind him. Ants. There are still many ways. Kyle flew back behind Yumo and whispered. Husband, I just had a cooling time for this skill. We can't stop its melee attack now, let's start a war of attrition with it. Yumo's eyes lit up. Wife, what did you call me just now? Yesterday you never called me that. Kelton rolled his eyes. Brother, we are fighting now, can you be more serious? Yumo smiled slightly. Don't worry, I'm fine. You have to keep calling me like this when you go back tonight. Kyle. The Chinese citizens watching the live broadcast were speechless. Brother, when is this? Are you still talking about love here? Yu Shen, have you made a mistake? Everyone is worried to death, and you are still joking around here. How do you deal with this dragon? Still molesting my sister-in-law here. I have to say that sister-in-law's skill just now is really cool. Not only did she not get hurt, but she also hurt the dragon. But didn't my sister-in-law just say that this skill has a CD, which is the same as Yu Shen's invincible skill? Oh, it seems that there is no chance of winning at all. And at this time, Yu Hype took a moment. Immediately returned to a serious combat state. Seeing that Freysa, who was already furious at this time, was about to launch another attack. Knowing that he could only choose a war of attrition, Yumo immediately mobilized the energy in his body. Inspired a burst of crimson flames that formed a huge wave. Immediately, he slapped the ground in front of him suddenly. A huge wave of crimson flames rushed towards Freysa, who was about to attack. Fraser snorted coldly, looking at the huge wave of flames hitting the ground in front of him. Immediately, he flapped his huge wings suddenly, and rose into the sky again. Trying to evade Yumo's attack, he charged at the two of them. But what it didn't expect was that the moment it flew, Yumo, who had just released the skill, Flame Barrier, suddenly raised his eyes. A crimson energy ray was shot out, directly attacking Freysa's giant eyeball. Well, Fraser suddenly felt dizzy, and his body temporarily lost all strength. But 2 seconds later, Freysa immediately broke through the control of this inexplicable spiritual power. Regained his sanity, but when its sight was restored, it found that it had been firmly covered by a huge flame barrier. Blocked all his movement routes. Forehead. Yumo was also a little tired at this time, and fell to one knee on the ground. Simultaneously used the two magic skills of flame enchantment and mind control. Let him feel a little tired for a while. It seems that releasing two skills at the same time will affect the user's state. This is also the first time Yumo has noticed this problem. But at this time, among Yumo's attributes, the highest attribute is 156 intelligence attributes. Mind control successfully controlled Freysa, allowing the flame barrier to completely trap it. And the flame enchantment can control Fraza's actions for a certain period of time, and it can also continuously cause burning damage to it. Kyle saw Yumo suddenly fell to his knees, hurries forward and asked eagerly, "Husband, what's wrong with you?" Yumo pointed at Freysa, who was under control, and said, I'm fine. Now the dragon is under control, my wife. Hit it hard for me." Although Kyle, who summoned the holy gold armor at this time, was wearing a helmet. Can't see the beautiful delicate cheek under her helmet. But at this moment, Yumo could feel the determination in Kyle's eyes. Good, Kyle agreed, and immediately flapped his wings and flew towards Freysa, who was controlled by the flame barrier. I saw Kyle holding up his flaming holy sword with both hands. A star-like holy light suddenly descended on the flaming holy sword. An extremely powerful magical breath burst out. Starfire Runeblade. Angel's E. Panting, Yumo immediately understood which skill Kyle was about to release. This made Yumo suddenly think of a thing: if you add an attack speed increasing equipment to Kyle, then will my wife really look like the Liushan costume in the game? Crazy. Thinking of this, Yumo suddenly realized the most important key role of the god of fire. In addition to equipment for yourself, you can also equip your wives. If you can create equipment suitable for your own wives. For example, Xiaowu with equipment plus strength, plus body attribute divine outfit. Fengju, who is equipped with magical clothes with plus wisdom and plus sensitivity attributes. Kyle equipped with plus body, plus sensitivity attribute divine outfit. Invincible warrior, powerful nuclear bomb, top of the canyon. All of a sudden, many ideas appeared in Yumo's mind. Of course, we have to wait until the battle in front of us is over. I saw that Kyle was constantly releasing the magic power in his body, accompanied by the bonus of the skill, Starfire Runeblade. Facing Freysa, he continuously slashed and slashed out one after another with extremely powerful sharp sword aura. Penetrating through the flame enchantment that controlled Freysa, leaving one after another bloodstains on its body. Seeing that the cooperation between Yumo and Kyle temporarily suppressed Freysa in the picture, the Chinese citizens were immediately excited. Yu Shen showed his power, and directly controlled this giant dragon with two skills. It has to be Yu Shen. I said Yu Shen has a chance to come back. Chop, sister-in-law cut me hard. Cut this giant dragon to death. What happened to Yu Shen? Why did he suddenly kneel down? As the brain disabled upstairs, Yu Shen used two skills at the same time and temporarily lost power. You God will definitely be able to defeat this boss. You God, come on. Contrary to the Chinese people, those clowns were impatient when they saw Freysa being suppressed. Fack, get up, you dead dragon. Baga, you are a SS strength boss, how can you be suppressed by this Wazong man? Zaiba, break through this flame barrier quickly. If you can't break through, our noble Banxi people look down on you. Ah can this woman be cut more lightly? Cut this dragon to death later. Come out now, idiot Freysa, Yumo is out of strength right now. At this time, Fraza, who was trapped in the flame enchantment, was not only burned by the crimson high-temperature flames in many places. He was restricted by the pressure of the barrier, and was slashed by the angel in front of him with sword energy. Even if it was still arrogant and boundless just now, it can feel its vitality begin to pass away now. In panic, it decided that it could no longer just sit and wait for death. I saw intense dark purple energy began to flow non-stop on its body. The light even directly overwhelmed the crimson fire of the flame enchantment. Roar, accompanied by Freysa's terrifying roar. A powerful dark purple energy burst out immediately. It directly shattered the flame barrier that trapped it. The aftermath of the energy suddenly struck. It directly shocked Kyle, who was slashing in midair, and Yumo, who had just recovered and flew upside down. The two fell heavily to the ground. Puff, Kyle spit out a mouthful of blood, staining the ground in front of him red. But Yumo is in better condition, only suffered a little skin trauma. Fraza, who broke free from the bondage, was already covered in wounds, with dark green blood continuously flowing down. The body parts burned by the fierce fox fire were still crazily burned by the spreading flames. But it has already exploded with a thunderous terrorist attack. Roar, Fraza aimed at Kyle, who was lying on the ground, and instantly breathed out a dark purple energy breath. The power of this energy breath is quite astonishing, and it directly shattered the ground in the cave on the way to press on Kyle. Kyle, Yumo shouted, and immediately used his skill to teleport to Kyle. Then turn on the skill Angel Shield again, mobilizing spiritual power to form a huge golden light shield. Protect him and Kyle lying on the ground. Boom. The moment the energy breath bombarded the light shield, the two people inside the light shield were directly blasted away. In an instant, numerous cracks appeared on the originally indestructible light shield. But fortunately, he barely blocked Freysa's powerful blow. The two immediately supported each other to stand up, but there was no fear in their eyes. On the contrary, it is an ever-increasing fighting spirit. Because at this moment, both of them could see that Zaisha was already seriously injured. As long as they continue to fight with it, the two who can win must be the two of them. Freysa saw that they were able to block his attacks time and time again. And it can continue to launch counterattacks against itself, reducing a lot of its vitality. Freysa, who never knew what fear was, felt his life threatened for the first time. Roar, Fraza let out a roar, and was about to charge towards Yumo and Kyle again. But the severe pain in the abdomen hit suddenly, and the pain made it almost unable to stand still. Before he knew it, Fraza's abdomen had been burned to pieces by the burning fox fire. It started to break down the musculature of its abdomen, and crazily ate away at its huge vitality. And Yumo and Kyle also saw this opportunity right now. Yumo asked, "Honey, tell me, you still have a skill. It's called Starfall Grace, isn't it?" A look of surprise appeared on Kyle's face. "How did you know? I've never used this skill in front of you. I know all too well. Your W skill is a very important skill. When playing games, I almost press W on the bad keyboard." Yumo smiled slightly. "Okay, then, this dragon will be handed over to your husband. Remember to assist me with skills." After all, Yu, whose body was once again ignited with the flaming armor, charged towards Fraser suddenly. The route he chose was completely opposite to that of Kyle flying in midair. I saw Yumo arched his body, stuck to the ground and galloped, heading straight for Fraser's abdomen. Fraza turned pale with fright, and immediately used his two extremely thick front paws to block it. Yumo, who can recover, is very flexible and fast. Let him, who has 114 points of sensitivity, easily jump over Fraza's two waving front paws. In an instant, it came to Fraza's abdomen. At this moment, the Pegasus meteor gloves on Yumo's fists burst out with dazzling golden light. Every gemstone on the glove exudes dazzling colors, perfectly combined with the flames of the flame armor. Ha! Yumo immediately activated the skill, Pegasus Meteor Fist, which heavily bombarded Fraisa's most vulnerable abdomen at this time. A golden flaming Pegasus blasted out suddenly, accompanied by fists like a torrential rain. It exploded directly on Fraisa's huge abdomen. Boom 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 boom. Boom 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 boom. Accompanied by a burst of collision sound sounded. Fraisa's huge body was directly hit by Yuji and suddenly collapsed to one side. He fell heavily to the ground. But Fraisa was enduring the severe pain and shocking the power of this human being. At the moment of falling to the ground, it still swept over with its huge intact tail. Accurately hit Yumo, who had just released his skill. Yumo, who was wearing the flame armor, also couldn't resist the powerful swipe from Fraisa's tail. He was hit by a strong force and flew to one side, and fell heavily on the wall. Even with the bonus of the holy armor buff, Yumo was still shocked by Fraisa's powerful power. His whole body was in pain, and his eyes were full of stars. Almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. But at this moment, Kelton, who had been preparing for a long time, raised the flame holy sword. Skill, Starfall Grace, release. I saw a starlight made of energy gathering suddenly appear from midair. Then immediately swooped down, poured into Yumo's body. Yu, who was in pain all over his body, immediately couldn't feel any pain. Even the skin trauma just received has fully recovered. Yumo looked at Kyle excitedly and gave a thumbs up. Wife NB. Then Yumo set his sights on Fraisa, who was about to get up, and smiled with his eyes burning. Hee. Face the judgment. Yumo, who had recovered from his injuries, charged again, but Fraisa, who was already seriously injured, hadn't reacted yet. But he found that Yumo had come in front of him. The powerful Pegasus Meteor Fist blasted out again. Go straight to Fraisa's weakest belly. Fraisa's inner OS. Roar. Stinky boy doesn't talk about martial arts. He only picks the vital points. Yumo started a melee battle with Fraisa, and the melee attacks with fire elements kept eating away at Fraisa's abdomen. Even if Fraisa's claws and tail attacked Yumo, the flame armor on Yumo's body has already reduced part of Li Qian's power. And Kyle, who only needs to focus on adding blood to Yumo, immediately gave Kyle a Starfall Grace when he saw Yumo being attacked, making Yumo tantamount to beating Fraser, who was already in danger without injury. In the end, Yumo was bombarded with heavy elemental punches with flames one after another. Fraisa fell with a crash. Ding! The host kills the monster, and gets the source point plus 500. At this moment, Yumo was already out of breath, almost paralyzed on the ground. It seems that my own strength is still insufficient, and I need to continue to improve. Otherwise, you will encounter another monster with strength above SS. I am still so embarrassed. At this time, Kyle walked to Yumo's side and helped Tian Guo up. For the first time, he spoke softly to Yumo. Husband, you have worked hard. Yumo smiled slightly, but did not respond. At this time, the body of Fraisa, whose abdomen had been completely smashed by Yumo. Suddenly, two items exploded. The moment Yumo successfully killed Fraisa, all the citizens of Washa are completely boiling. A boulder hanging in my heart was finally let go. Yu Shen Niu Beer. I knew that Yu Shen would not be easily taken by a dog. I thought Yu Shen was going to die. Fortunately, sister-in-law Angel still has the ability to restore blood. Yu Shen is really smart. Just pick the weakest flaw of this giant dragon and attack it madly. It's so thrilling. Who would have thought that Yu Shen could really kill a monster with SS strength? Yu Shen is our Washa Shengguang, dragon-slaying warrior. Too strong. And when those foreign devils saw that Yumo actually defeated Fraisa, they were all shocked and collapsed to the ground. Zaiba, how is it possible? How is this possible? Great gift crab. This Chinese person is too fierce. Can he really kill monsters with SS strength? Baga, it's too exaggerated. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. He can no longer be described by hanging metaphors, he is called hanging god. Are players from other countries C+ in terms of strength now? This Chinese guy can already kill SS bosses at 617, and he's still playing NM. It's better for all countries to surrender to Washa. According to the speed of this comparison, we may all be cleared out of this world by the Washa people in 3 years' time. At this time, everyone in the Washa official team burst into enthusiastic cheers. They hugged their neighbors tightly and wept with joy, seeing that Yumo was able to save the day and defeat this terrifying dragon. The group of people who were most worried about Yumo finally relieved their incomparable worries. Even the great elder finally sat on the sofa exhausted after being highly nervous at this time, looking at Yumo in the picture with a smile on his face. And Yumo in the game world. He was helped up by Kyle and approached to check the 2 objects that exploded. While Yumo and Kyle approached, the game system also projects the information of these 2 items into text. One of the items is a dark purple, but sparkling scale-shaped object. Name: Dragon Scale. Type: Treasure. Quality: SS. Function: increase the rarity of a specific type of home, and have mysterious effects. Requirement: a specific type of home is required to take effect. Yumo was very happy. As expected, he killed the boss Dark Spirit Dragon, and really succeeded in getting the Dragon Scale. In this way, you can upgrade your Dragon Training Stone Castle to S class. It can also activate the Dragon Taming Altar in the homeland, and spawn the Dragon Family Night Fury. And when Yumo moved his eyes to another item, Yumo was even more surprised. This is a stone-shaped item that is also dark purple, the same as the scale of the dragon. Without any light, you can emit a faint luster through your own spiritual power. Name: Genshin Lingxi. Type: Treasure. Quality: SS. Function: it can be used as a raw material for smelting equipment, with a great chance of smelting god-level equipment. Requirement: none. After seeing the quality of these 2 items, Yumo was immediately excited. Put away the 2 treasures immediately. He returned to his original plane with Kyle. Seeing the 2 treasures harvested by Yumo, the Chinese people were even more excited. Big guy, it's really a dragon scale. Yu Shen's home is about to be upgraded. I remember that the castle where God Yu lives now is called Dragon Training Stone Castle. The one with the Dragon Training Altar. Yes, with this dragon scale, you can upgrade Yu Shen's homeland to S level. You can also activate the Dragon Training Altar. So excited. Is Yu Shen about to become a Dragon Knight? Longdan Lingxi. Great chance to smelt god-level equipment. That's too exaggerated. Yu Shen just got a god stove today. The raw materials will come right away. And seeing you harvesting 2 SS quality treasures, all the hostile citizens were so angry. Shet, I really got him the dragon scale. Great gift crab. Great chance to make stones for god-level equipment. He is so strong. If he still gets a piece of god-level equipment, wouldn't he dominate the game? This game has problems from the very beginning. It's all biased towards Chinese people. Otherwise, how could he be so lucky? Zaiba, I'm convinced, our Oppa just got a novice hammer. Looks really low. Sure enough, Yumo returned to the original plane. Immediately opened the trading mall. The Wagyu beef and food that he chose to trade were all wiped out by players from all over the world. 20 pieces of various equipment are in the storage cabinet of the trading system, waiting for Yumo to receive them. Although most of them are novice weapons with quality D and D+. But there are also a few weapons that have reached C and C+ quality. Anyway, no matter what the quality of the weapon is, it is what Yu needs now. After Yumo took out the 20 pieces of equipment, he and Kyle carried a big bag back to their homeland. As soon as Yumo and Kyle returned home, Xiaowu and Fengju in the castle immediately surrounded them. I saw 2 people who were more or less slightly injured. Xiaowu and Fengju immediately asked anxiously. Brother, Sister Kyle, what's wrong with you? Husband, Sister Kyle, are you alright? Yumo and Kyle smiled slightly, and explained to Xiaowu Fengju what happened just now. And also comforted the emotions of the 2, telling them that they did not suffer any serious injuries. A night's rest is fine. Then Yumo put down the equipment he traded in. Go straight to the dragon taming altar deep in the castle. The first thing he has to do now is to activate the dragon training altar. After coming to the altar of taming the dragon, Yumo immediately bent down and put the dragon scale into the groove under the altar. The dragon's scales and grooves fit perfectly, and immediately formed a powerful spiritual connection with the entire dragon castle after being embedded. I saw that the dragon's scales began to emit a strong dark purple light. But there is no strange and chilling aura, but only a sense of vitality and softness. Everyone in the castle felt a flash of light before their eyes. The body also seems to shuttle in an inexplicable space. When they opened their eyes again, everyone found the small castle where they lived. At this time, there have been tremendous changes. Target: Yumo initial home. Name: How to train your dragon castle. Quality: S. Effect: 1. It can bring great comfort to the player and the marriage partner, and greatly increase the chance of pregnancy, and the inner area of the stone castle has the breath of the dragon, which can make the fetus grow rapidly and reduce the pregnancy time. 2. Night attack monsters below B+ strength cannot invade. 3. The dragons spawned from the dragon training altar are not limited to the dragon's Yifu, each dragon will automatically recognize its master after being spawned. Additional supplies: Tianchi well, weather shield, refining equipment, Shinha stove, some high-grade Wagyu beef, some grain. After regaining his sight, he saw the home data displayed by the game system. Yumo couldn't help sighing. Is this the S-class home? At this time, Dragon Training Stone Fortress has turned into a majestic huge stone castle, located in a vast wilderness. The exterior is all made of solid gray stones, which looks solemn and indestructible. Yumo and others roughly estimated that the area of the stone castle after the upgrade has at least increased by 5 times. And even the farms around the castle have become very vast at this moment. The green farms stretch as far as the eye can see, and the grain they planted shines brightly under the sunshine. The Wagyu herd, which was originally raised in captivity, is now happily running on the huge grass with its cubs. Yumo happily walked into the huge castle with his 3 wives. Walking into the heavy door, luxurious decoration blows your face. The hall is spacious and bright, decorated with high-quality wood, and the floor is covered with gorgeous marble tiles, showing dignity and luxury. The spacious rooms are elegantly furnished with resplendent furniture, precious antiques and works of art. A winding staircase leads to the intimate spaces of the upper floors. The bedding in the bedroom is soft and comfortable, equipped with high-end facilities. The bathroom has a marble bathtub and metal-carved faucets, just like a small hot spring. The kitchen is well equipped, allowing Feng Ju, who is proficient in cooking, to show off her skills. For the first time, the citizens of Huasha saw a player's home with a quality of level 5, and followed the live broadcast of Kaisai to visit the entire dragon castle. See the magnificent and domineering outside the stone castle, and the gorgeous decoration inside the stone castle. The Chinese people are envious one after another. This is the house that people should live in. I have envied God for 10,000 years. This castle is too big. It's no problem to accommodate 100 people. It's too luxurious, it's too luxurious. The super home really lives up to its reputation. Isn't this homeland extremely useful? It increases the chances of pregnancy, limits night attack monsters, and the altar can spawn different dragons. It's too strong. Just now I saw players from other countries curled up in their dilapidated cabins. Yu Shen has been ahead of them by how many centuries? After visiting the castle, Yumo immediately rushed to the dragon training altar in the depths of the castle without stopping. I saw that the dragon training altar had completely changed at this time. The altar is composed of gorgeous marble sculptures, engraved with mysterious dragon patterns, as if calling for ancient legends. Around the altar, dotted with a variety of colorful flowers and ancient sacrificial items, giving a sacred and solemn atmosphere. The most striking thing is the stone platform inlaid with precious stones in front of the altar. Players can refresh once a day, and there is a chance to spawn any kind of dragon. At this time, Yumo's dimensional template system appeared. Ding! It is detected that the host is refreshing the dragon training altar for the first time. The host can spend 500 source points to directly and accurately brush out the dragon family, Night Fury. Are you sure? Yumo was taken aback. He didn't expect his own system to be useful here. I just killed Freysa and got exactly 500 source points. Totally affordable. Yumo defaults in his heart. Confirm refresh. Ding. Refresh successfully. In the next second, Tianli immediately put her hand on the gemstone inlaid on the stone platform. The moment Yumo's hand touched the gemstone, the crystal clear gem immediately exudes powerful spiritual power. A light and shadow instantly appeared in the center of the altar. Watching Yumo start to refresh the altar of how to train the dragon, except for the nervous Washa people. Those devils who are hostile to China are not expecting Yumo well. This is starting to refresh the altar. HMPH, there must be nothing to refresh. I don't believe his luck can extend to his homeland. For the first time to refresh, even if any dragons are refreshed, it must be a very weak dragon. Still wanting to get some Dragon Clan Yifu. Go dreaming. Zaiba, I curse you with my kunkan, you can't spawn anything. But the slap in the face came so fast, 10 seconds later, a cry appeared in the light and shadow. Woo! Accompanied by a cry, a dragon cub with a body length of less than 1 meter appeared in the altar. Its message also appeared in front of Yumo and all audiences. Name: Night Fury, natural stage. Race: Dragon. Gender: 6. Strength: C. Potential: SSS. Skill: None. The young evil spirit is huge and strong, and its whole body is covered with a layer of black scales that are as hard as iron. The scales have a luster like black iron, giving people a feeling of full defense. Its head is broad and powerful, with a high forehead and piercing eyes. The mouth is long and wide, and the teeth are tough and sharp, exuding a gloomy light. On both sides of the face, there are a pair of bone-shaped protrusions that spread their wings and fly. They are like sharp swords guarding Night Fury, showing majesty and strength. The wings are broad and powerful, with a vast wingspan, and the scales shine with blue-black light in the sun. The dragon's tail is huge and powerful, covered with tough scales, and each tail vertebra has sharp spikes, like a terrifying sharp sword. Woo! Yi Fu opened his big eyes, looking at everything around him curiously. When its eyes fell on Yumo's body, an inexplicable sense of closeness suddenly appeared in its heart. And Yumo was also very excited at the moment, and immediately stretched out his arms to hug Yi Sha. Hello, small Yesha. Welcome to this world, I am your master. Yi Sha tilted his head, stuck out his tongue, and his cute look was very cute. At this time, the Chinese people jumped up happily. It's Night Fury. It's Night Fury. Yu Shen actually released a Night Fury with SSS potential for the first time. Wow, what a cute dragon. Just born with the power of. So cute. I can snort all day like this. Ha 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 ha. You clowns from other countries, what were you talking about just now? Yu Shen went straight into his soul. Devils, look, this is Aruki. Citizens of various hostile countries saw Yumo refreshed for the first time, and directly refreshed the Dragon Clan Yifu. Immediately, he was so angry that he switched to Washa's live broadcast. I see. Washa, you guys are awesome. You are amazing. I'm so speechless. Where did this kid get so much European spirit? Mommy Fok, what kind of sea strength was born at birth? Is it okay to cultivate SSS strength in the future? I can only say that people's sorrows and joys are not connected. Look at the chicken feathers, the more you look at it, the more angry you get, and you won't even know when you get so angry that you vomit blood. After a while, Yumo, who got acquainted with Yi Fu, took the little guy out. Xiao Wu, Feng Ju, and Kyle were also very pleasantly surprised when they saw the cute Sarah. One after another scrambling to come forward and stick with the lovely Night Fury. Oh, what a cute little guy. Husband, I didn't expect the dragon training altar in our house to have such a function. This dragon cub, if it is properly raised, it will definitely have a strong fighting power. The newly born Yi Fuan had never seen such a scene surrounded by beauties. In Yi Fu's eyes, he now only sees 3 beauties who make him happy physically and mentally, constantly surrounding him. That feeling can be said to be wonderful. Whoa! Just when Yi Sha was surrounded and stroked by the 3 women, Yi Sha's eyes glanced at the Wagyu herd on the farm. Out of the dragon's instinct, Yi Fu immediately broke free from Feng Ju's embrace. Fan, Chi-Chi, moved his wings covered with blue and black scales and flew towards the Wagyu herd. Opening his mouth, he wanted to tear and bite a small and cow cub. Xiao Wu stomped anxiously and said, "Oh, that little Wagyu was born not long ago." Feng Ju looked at the flying Yi Fu in surprise. It won't eat a whole small Wagyu cow. Kyle spread the 4 wings behind him at this moment. How can this be done? Wagyu cubs must be kept. I'll save them. But it didn't wait for the 3 girls to take any action. Yumo had already teleported, and appeared in front of the little Wagyu that was being targeted by Yi Sha. He reached out to stop Yi Sha. Seeing his master suddenly appearing, Yi Fu quickly waved his wings to make him brake urgently. Almost bumped into Yumo, who was blocking in front. Whoa! After stopping, Yi Fu was puzzled, and seemed to be asking Yumo why he didn't let him have a full meal. Yumo stretched out his hand and touched Yi Sha's head, then raised the corners of his mouth. Little guy, there is a lot of food at home, enough for you. These small Wagyu cattle still need to grow, so they can't be eaten casually. Then Yumo pointed to Fengju in the distance. Yi Fu, Sister Fengju's grilled Wagyu beef is much more delicious than raw Wagyu. You go home with Sister Fengju and have a good meal. Yi Sha turned his head to look at Fengju, then happily flapped his wings and flew back to Fengju's side. Obediently follow the three girls to the castle, which has become huge at this moment. Moo! Yumo suddenly heard a cry from the small Wagyu behind him. It seems to be thanking Yumo for saving his life. Yumo scratched his head in embarrassment. Little guy, I just want to fatten you up and eat you. Don't play the emotional card with me, I'm afraid I'll be happy when the time comes. But Yumo did not return to the castle for dinner with the three daughters and Yi Fu. Instead, he took the 2 large bags of equipment he had exchanged and came to the refining artifact Shinha furnace outside the castle. Looking at the huge cauldron, Yumo felt a little excited. After all, this is still my first forging. Seeing that Yumo is about to start using the God Fire Furnace, the citizens of Huasha are very curious. Yu God is really planning a strategy. I wonder how he brought all the food out of his home today. It's for this. This is A-grade quality home supplies. This sacred fire furnace can recast higher quality equipment according to different smelting values. It is simply an artifact. Players from other countries are now worrying about food and water sources. Yushin directly trades food for equipment, which is great. And Yushin only has 100 grams of food, and he can get so much equipment in exchange. I have to say that Yushin is still a profiteer. Ha 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 ha, that's true, but those foreign players almost cried when they ate the 100 grams Wagyu beef. The upcoming recasting of Yumo has also attracted many nationals from other countries. What is China's Zhou Shen trying to do? He's going to recast and build equipment. According to Huasha's script for this national matchmaking game, he will definitely recast a divine weapon later. Zaiba, what country are you from? What's the matter? I've already resigned to my fate. The one in Huasha is Uhuang. In the game world, Yuji put his palm on the God Fire stove. Sensing the player's activation, the entire huge furnace suddenly vibrated. Afterwards, the naked eye could see the fire rising into the sky inside it. The lid engraved with many inscriptions on the furnace body was also slowly opened. A prompt appears directly above the Godfire stove. Please choose the direction of recasting. 1. Weapon. 2. Helmet. 3. Armor. 4. Bracer. 5. Bottom. 6. Boots. 7. Others. After the player chooses the direction of recasting, they can start to invest in equipment materials to obtain smelting value. The peak smelting value is 100, players can choose to recast at any time to complete. According to different smelting values, the God Fire Furnace can recast different equipment, and of course there are cases where recasting fails. Player can start recasting now. Please choose the direction of recasting. Yumo read the game system's introduction to the use of text for Shinha Furnace. After thinking for a while, Yumo chose to reforge the weapon. Selected successfully. Current smelting value. 0/100. Although now the epic Tianma Meteor gloves can be used with ease. The equipment carrying skill, Tianma Meteor Fist, is also very powerful. But if he really wants to create a divine weapon, Wu will undoubtedly improve himself the most. After making the selection, Yumo immediately put all the 2 bags of equipment into the God Stove Furnace without any chance. Accompanied by a burst of flames and overflowing heat waves. In just a few seconds, Yumo exchanged 20 pieces of various equipment through the trading system. All were smelted in the God Furnace. After the smelting, Tian also saw the prompt of the refining value of the Shinha Furnace at this moment. Current smelting value. 6.8/100. Yumo rolled his eyes. 20 pieces of low-quality equipment. Only got a smelting value of 6.8. This is too little. If you have to rely on collecting low-quality equipment, wouldn't it be very difficult to smelt a divine outfit? How many random rooms do you have to explore? In the next second, Yumo took out another loot obtained today, the SS quality Genshin Spirit Stone. The role of the Genshin Spirit Stone is that it can be used as a raw material for smelting equipment, with a great chance of smelting god-level equipment. The effect with the god stove in front of me is simply a perfect match. Yumo directly put the Genshin Spirit Stone into the god fire furnace and let it start to smelt. The moment the Genshin Spirit Stone was thrown in, a dark purple light mixed with raging flames rose into the sky. A dragon chant seemed to keep roaring in the furnace. All of a sudden, the huge dragon training stone castle seemed to tremble for a while. Even the originally clear sky was now covered with dark clouds, thunder and lightning, and it rained heavily in an instant. If it weren't for the existence of the weather shield, Tien would have been drowned by now. Yumo was very excited at this time. He didn't expect the combination of Genshin Spirit Stone and God Fire Furnace to be able to burst out this kind of power. Even Xiao Wu and the others who were taking Yi Fury to eat at the restaurant in the castle at this time. They were also startled by the change outside the window, and immediately ran to the attic outside the castle to watch. "Brother, what are you doing?" "Husband, why is there a change outside?" Even Xiao Yesha, who was eating meat just now, ran to the attic to watch with his short legs. "I'm afraid that something will happen to my master." But Yumo, who was staring at the god stove, ignored them. Instead, stare closely at the smelting value prompt on the sacred fire furnace at this moment. Current smelting value 96.8, 100. The prototype of the artifact. Under the effect of increasing the success rate of the Genshin Spirit Stone and the sacred fire furnace, this recasting will obtain a 100% artifact. Player, please confirm whether to start recasting. Yumo immediately chose to confirm without hesitation. In the next second, the entire huge furnace body of the divine fire furnace began to vibrate extremely strongly. The dark purple light emitted was even more dazzling, and the overflowing heat wave directly burned the lawn where the god stove stood to 29 ashes. The sky above the stone castle was now shining with intertwined thunder and lightning like a thunder snake. Wreak havoc above the midair cut off by the weather shield. Boom, accompanied by a cracking sound. The furnace door opened instantly, and the furnace fire that had turned dark purple shot up into the sky. A gasification dragon soared into the sky, leaving behind a dragon roar that resounded for 3,000 miles. Recast complete. Artifact Benlei Genshin, now alive. Under the dazzling light, a dark purple spear gradually emerged. This gun body is slender and forged from crystal clear spirit stones, exuding bursts of aura. The entire body of the gun is dark purple in color, covered with thunder patterns woven from delicate silver threads, as if bursting thunder and lightning converge on it. On the top of the gun body, there is a lifelike carving of a dragon. The dragon scales are shining with golden light, and the dragon claws are as hard as steel, exuding infinite power. The tip of the spear is slightly curved, like a bolt of lightning ready to go, revealing extreme speed and endless power. Every corner of the spearhead is polished extremely sharp, as if it can cut the air, which makes people feel chills. The grip is made of dragon scale stone, tempered with enamel technology, inlaid with the pattern of thunder and longan, exuding a mysterious atmosphere. The whole Benlei Genshin emits a powerful wave of energy, as if it has its own soul, always ready to bring unparalleled power and protection to the holder. Yumo was so surprised that he jumped straight away. Hold the Benlei Genshin in the midair in your hand. The moment Yumo held Benlei Genshin, the world shook, lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. A sound of dragon roar seemed to follow the swing of the spear tip continuously. Let Yumo at this moment be like a thunderbolt descending from the heavens to conquer, heroic and invincible. In addition, his charm attribute has reached 116 points at this moment. The extraordinary and handsome Yumo is currently holding the Benlei Genshin artifact. It perfectly interprets what it means to be descended from the gods. Xiao Wu, Feng Zhu, and Kyle, who watched this scene in the attic, were fascinated. "Brother, so handsome, so domineering. Husband, really? Let me take a look at Wanian." "Oh, my husband is so handsome." Even Xiao Yi Sha, who was lying on the stone fence of the attic, was stunned. "In my heart, I am amazed that my master is so powerful." The attributes of Benlei Genshin are also presented by the game system. Equipment name: Benlei Genshin Artifact. Equipment attributes. Strength plus 100, body plus 75, sensitivity plus 60, wisdom plus 60. Equipment additional skills. Thunder Fury Dragon Stab causes 150% critical strike damage of its own power attribute to a single target, cooldown time BOS. Wanlei Flying Dragon Strike cause 130% critical strike damage of its own intelligence attribute to targets in the range, cooldown time 48. The Chinese nationals who saw this data through the live broadcast were stunned. An artifact. Yu Shen really forged an artifact. As expected of a Genshin Spirit Stone with SS quality. You have successfully created an artifact right away. This attribute, isn't that letting Yu Shen's attribute explode directly? Who else is there? Oh my god, this artifact is so handsome. Yu Shen who holds it in his hand is simply the god of thunder. Yu Shen is so domineering. He looks so handsome. Let me lick the screen, please. Upstairs, Yu Shen is my husband, don't disgust me here. All the citizens who are hostile to China are also dumbfounded at this moment. I couldn't believe what was happening in front of my eyes. Is this the artifact in this game? Directly plus 100 strength attribute. Fark. Now, besides Yumo, who else has more than 40 strength attributes? Zyba. Cheating. This cheating is going too far. Don't talk about Yumo, who is already very powerful. Players from any country get this artifact, and they can directly sweep the game. Woo. Why do all the good things belong to this Washa? Isn't Washa not strong enough? Baga. It seems that we Sakura people have no hope of revenge in this life. Even the Chinese officials at this moment were shocked by the birth of Benlei Genshin. 000. Everyone was greatly shocked by the attributes of this artifact. At the same time, I am also cheering for Yumo's leap in strength again. Great. With this artifact in hand, even if all players from other countries come to fight Yumo alone, he can't beat it. Hey, the essence of this national luck game is marriage, it's not about fighting. Who said that one's own strength must be strong? Otherwise, when you meet players from other countries, you will have to suffer disaster. It's only been 4 days since the National Games game started. I feel like Yumo is about to graduate. Yumo doesn't need to become stronger anymore. Hurry up and create a marriage room, find a few more partners, and bring us Washa more national fortune rewards. The Great Elder is already relaxed now, after simply packing up his belongings. Then he smiled and said to everyone, "Okay, it's getting late, everyone go back to rest first." With Yumo's current strength, there is no need for us to have any worries anymore. In the game world, Yumo, holding the Benlei Genshin, has gradually adapted to the terrifying power of this artifact. I began to look at this ingenious weapon on the farm. This also confirmed his belief in building equipment for his wives. At that time, except for myself, everyone will be in Liushan costume, wouldn't it be beautiful? Yumo took off the Pegasus Meteor Gauntlet at this time. Check the ability data after carrying the Benlei Genshin. Player. Yumo. Personal rewards. Soul Beast Divine Power S+, Qingqiu Immortal Technique S+, Angel Body S. National Fortune Rewards. Star Blessing plus Qingqiu Shanan S+, Angel Gift S. Attributes. Body 116 to 181, Strength 136 to 236, Sensitivity 114 to 174, Wisdom 156 to 216, Charm 101 to 116. Skills. Explosive Killing Bajuan S, Invincible Golden Body S, Mind Control S, Fierce Foxfire S, Teleportation S, Angel Shield S, Flame Sacred Armor S, Flame Barrier S. Equipment. Benlei Genshin Artifact Dream Gossip Pendant Epic Level. Luxury. Yumo's current attribute data can only be described as luxurious. May I ask which player can increase the strength attribute to the terrifying 236 points in just 4 days? In addition to the power attribute, another magic attribute, the intelligence attribute, also broke through the 200 mark, reaching 216 points. In this way, whether it is physical skills or magic skills, that damage can be described as explosive. If today he meets the boss Dark Spirit Demon Dragon, Freysa, Yuji will hold this Benlei Genshin in his hand. I might be able to tear this boss easily and without injury. Now there is the addition of the small pet Night Fiend. Even if he faces any monsters in the future, Yumo will not be afraid. Satisfied, Yumo put away the Benlei Genshin and returned to the castle. The three wives are also very excited now. Xiao Wu, brother, I will never worry about you when you go out to explore in the future. Yumo, hee, just stay at home and raise your baby obediently. Feng Ju, husband, this artifact is really powerful. Yumo, my Fang Tian painted halberd is even better. Kyle, husband, discuss with you, how about giving me this artifact? Yumo, I can borrow you to play, if you want, you can beat me tonight. The Yi Fu on the side couldn't keep up with the speed of these four people at all. Whoa, Wu, after eating and drinking, Xiao Yesha yawned contentedly. He fell asleep on his stomach on the luxurious plush carpet in the hall. Yumo sat next to the warm fire in the lobby, enjoying Xiao Wu's massage service. Feng Ju at the side made some snacks with the grain from the farm, and fed them into Yumo's mouthful. Kyle was leaning on the sofa, thinking about how to defeat Yuhei's Fang Tian Waji tonight. After a hard day, Yumo just wants to enjoy this peaceful and comfortable time. Looking at Yumo's life, many Chinese citizens gritted their teeth with envy. Yu Shen, the victor in life, has a detestable face. Enjoying the massage of the year of the rabbit, eating the cakes of the fox fairy, and seeing the angel in front of you, whoever comes, don't say a word. Yumo's life, my dream. Is this the ultimate enjoyment of the boss? If I can experience it for 3 minutes in this life, I will die without regret. Look at your spineless appearance. Isn't it the service of 3 top beauties? Mom, I'm not kneeling. And the reason why the 4 of them haven't fallen asleep or held a ceremony yet. I'm not sure if tonight will be like last night, there will be nocturnal monsters raiding the stone castle. Although it is now late at night, tonight's bad weather has turned into a horrible hailstorm. However, with the blocking of the weather shield, the hailstones falling from high altitude could not fall into the airspace above the stone castle. The possible appearance of night attack monsters is the factor that the 4 are still waiting for. Sure enough, half an hour later, the relaxed and pleasant time passed. Yumo, who has keen hearing, immediately heard the strange movement outside the stone castle. Yumo stood up leisurely, and couldn't help complaining. Looks like I'm out of luck tonight. I have encountered night attack monsters for 2 consecutive nights. Doesn't it mean that night attack monsters below B+ strength cannot invade? But the 3 wives are very excited at the moment. Good time. Brother, quickly test the power of your artifact. That's right, my husband, let's see how powerful it is. Honey, hurry up, I'm going to challenge you tonight. At this time, Yi Sha was also awakened by the noise of the crowd. Drooping his dazed head, he looked at the 4 people who stood up. Whoa, Yumo bent down, touched Yi Sha's head and said, Yi Fu, come out with me. Yumo is determined to exercise the strength of Night Fury, even though its current strength is only C. But with a strong self-protection, it will not suffer any harm. When Yi Fu heard this, he also regained his spirits, and immediately swayed his body, and the 4 of them came to the attic of the stone castle. Looking through the attic, I saw the edge of the huge farm. Dozens of thick pythons with green scales all over their bodies were attacking them in unison. The Wagyu herds on the farm were frightened and ran directly to the closest position to the castle. Curled up into a ball and hid in the corner. The information of this group of giant pythons is also presented by the game system. Monster. Sand scale python. Name. None. Strength. B+. Seeing that Yumo was attacked by night raiding monsters again tonight, and each one is still B+. The Chinese nationals who have not yet rested exclaimed. Yu Shen's luck seems to have run out, and he encountered night attacking monsters for 2 consecutive nights. What's even more exaggerated is that the S-level How to Train Your Dragon Castle has already isolated the night attack monsters with a strength below B+, and it turned out that this group of monsters has the strength of B+. It doesn't matter, just wait and see Yu Shenzhuang beep. I saw him take out his Wang's magic weapon. A group of B+ monsters, I'm afraid they would be dead if placed on players from other countries, but it's a piece of cake for God. Isn't the artifact created by God you today have 2 skills? I want to see it. At this moment, Yumo is holding the Benlei Genshin tightly. On the Benlei Genshin flashes like thunder, snake-like electric arcs, bursting out bursts of dragon chant. Yumo said to the three wives. Don't move tonight, just let me come. Xiao Wu smiled. Ah, bro, are you driving again? Feng Ju covered her mouth with a smile and said. Husband, it seems that I move more. Kyle responded domineeringly. You don't have to move tonight. Yumo couldn't help laughing out. I'm talking about killing monsters. My three wives have only been with me for a few days, why is the speed so fast now? Yumo immediately jumped down from the attic. The Benlei gentian in his hand left behind a series of arc sparks. I saw Yumo's figure was like a thunderbolt at the moment. In an instant, they came to the front of the group of sand-scale pythons who were far away from the attack. Yumo mobilized the spiritual power in his body and poured it into the Benlei gentian in his hand. Immediately, thunder and lightning flashed in the void. The thunderous gentian made of spirit stones. At this moment, the crystal-clear dark purple gun is shining with dazzling thunder and lightning. I saw Yumo's right hand began to wave and spin the Benlei gentian in his hand. Immediately held high on the top, pointing directly at the sky. Boom! A thunder that seemed to be able to split the sky suddenly struck down. It was directly injected into the gun body of Benlei gentian, and the strong current was about to envelop Yumo's entire body at this moment. It makes Yumo look like a thunder god who came to punish the world with thunder. Skill, Wanlei Flying Dragon Strike launched. As Yumo clenched the Benlei gentian and swept forward, a series of thunderbolts transformed into dragons suddenly bombarded the group of sandscale pythons in front of them crazily. Every blow hit every sandscale python trying to attack accurately. While turning it into fly ash in an instant, it also left shocking deep pits on the grass of the farm. The group of giant pythons that came under heavy pressure made the 320 people look terrified. Suddenly, he was blown away by Yumo's AoE. Dozens of giant sand-scale pythons were immediately cleared by Yumo. There were only one or two residual blood pythons on the edge of the group that were not completely hit by the dragon-shaped lightning. Seeing the power of Yumo's Wanlei Flying Dragon Strike, even the three wives in the attic couldn't help exclaiming. What a powerful attack! What a powerful artifact! Husband's strength is really amazing. I really like this artifact. And Yumo's strength once again deeply shocked Yi Sha's young heart. This thunderous power deeply attracted it. And the most shocked ones were the Chinese citizens watching the live broadcast. Bull Beep killed dozens of B+ monsters in one move. Amazing. So awesome. Yu Shen's current strength is simply an existence against the sky. As expected of an artifact, Benlei gentian. Even more powerful than Yu Shen's previous Pegasus Meteor Fist. If Yu Shen comes out of the game 3 years later, he will definitely help us resist the invasion of civilizations from different dimensions. Citizens of other countries were shocked when they saw it. Is this the power of the artifact? We are really hungry. Zyba, our players in Banxi Kingdom can also get an artifact. You guys wait for the next life. Even our Yingjiang players haven't got weapons yet. Gift Crab. This skill is too cool and powerful. I feel that now, except for China's Yumo, players from other countries are all cannon fodder. And those two giant sandscale pythons with residual blood were deliberately left by Yumo for Yi Sha. Yumo put away his spiritual power and shouted loudly. Night Fury, fix them. Yi Sha's eyes lit up in the attic. I didn't expect the master to give me a chance to make a move. Whoa, Yi Fu was suddenly excited, and immediately jumped up from the attic. Spread your wings and fly in the direction of Yumo. Although Night Fury was just summoned by Yumo today, it is still in its infancy. But it is so gifted within a few hours of coming to this world. It has completely adapted to its own body functions. At this moment, Yi Fu galloped down from midair, aiming directly at the two giant sand-scale pythons that were scorched by lightning. The sharp sword-like tail pierced the heads of the two sand-scale pythons with precision. Kill them instantly. The moment Yi Furen successfully killed the two sand-scale pythons, a golden light flashed from Yi Furen's body. Yumo frowned, and immediately checked CFDA, the ability data of Night Fury. Name: Night Fury Natural Stage. Gender: 6. Strength: C+. Potential: SSS. Skill: Steel Dragon Tail. Yumo frowned. Has his strength improved? Can Night Fury improve so quickly just by killing 2 B+ monsters? It seems that starting tomorrow, I can take this little guy to explore. Night Fury, who experienced battle for the first time. Somewhat disgusted, he kept flicking the tail that was stained with the blood of the sand-scale python. But from the actions of Yi Fu, it can be seen that the little guy who killed the enemy for the first time is very excited at the moment. Yumo patted Yi Sha's head in satisfaction, expressing his encouragement. Then, under the earnest eyes of the three wives, he took back his Ben Lei Gendon. Go inside the castle. It is said that Kyle is going to challenge himself tonight. Don't let yourself move. It was still in front of Xiao Wu and Feng Ju. How could Yumo make her so crazy? After that, Huasha's live broadcast screen finally fell into darkness. The citizens of Huasha watched Yumo's live broadcast screen sinking into darkness. I can only browse the live broadcasts of players from various countries in a boring way. Sure enough, the live broadcasts of players from all over the world are, without exception, appalling. For example, in Yingzhong's live broadcast now, the player Durant held a stone axe in his forehand, and kept slashing towards the monster outside the window. Last night, Durant was very lucky. Without the blessing of any game items, he did not encounter the night attack monster after the game version was updated. But the heavy rain last night almost flooded his original home. If Durant hadn't been able to swim and soaked in the water all night, he would have drowned long ago. He finally understood that if he didn't explore the room, he could only wait for death. So early this morning, he immediately started his own exploration. 4 random rooms. The first, Durant opened a stone axe, body +5, strength +2, sensitivity -5. Using this stone axe, Durant killed another D+ monster in the second monster room. Fortunately, a home building card exploded on this monster, allowing Durant to get a D+ strong wooden house. Confident, Durant entered the third random room and found some food and water. Then, after exploring the fourth empty room, I returned to my sturdy wooden house. After eating and drinking enough, I took a good sleep. But Durant slept so soundly that he slept until the early morning of the next day. It wasn't until he heard the impact of the monster outside the door on the wooden house that he suddenly woke up. At this time, it was a group of D+ zombies who besieged Durant. The sturdy wooden house that could withstand the wind and rain was now under the crazy collision of dozens of zombies. It has become shaky. For Durant, who just started exploring today, even if he got a stone axe that can improve a little attribute. But it is very difficult to deal with dozens of zombies. Because he knew that if he was bitten by these zombies, he would not be able to survive for a few hours. Now he could only pass through the broken windows of the solid cabin. Kill these difficult zombies one by one. Durant kept waving the stone axe in his hand, trying his best to strike at the zombies who were trying to get up from the window. Durant has a handsome and strong figure, plus the attributes of stone axe, body +5, strength +2, and sensitivity -5. So that he can directly chop the head of a zombie. But even if the power attribute has been increased by 2 points, due to the weight of the stone axe itself and the negative attribute of -5. After slashing more than a dozen times, Durant's arms were sore and he was out of breath. But listening to the movement outside the wooden house, there are still more than a dozen besieged zombies. All Eagle Sauce citizens watched with trepidation. Fuck, why are there so many zombies? Durant's weapon is very heavy at first glance, and he can be considered awesome if he can swing so many times. Isn't it just a group of zombies with strength D+? Why is he struggling so much? You fool, have you watched too many live broadcasts from Huasha next door? Do you think everyone is the same as that Uhuang? Let you go, you can't even beat one of the zombies, and you are still here to hurt people. If Durant dies again, I don't know which city will suffer disaster. The Chinese nationals who came to watch joked. Oh, you can still watch zombie movies at night. Isn't this the Durant who played? He was chosen to be the player of Eagle Sauce. This physical fitness can't handle killing zombies with a stone axe. Looks like another city is going to be hit by a catastrophe. Well done. Without comparison, there is no damage. With one skill of Yu Shen, there are dozens of B+ monsters in seconds, and this group of trash can't even beat a few D+ monsters. In the game world, Durant once again split the heads of several zombies that were trying to break in through the windows. Finally unable to support the weight of the stone axe, the whole body sat limply and fell to the ground. Panting, he looked at the zombies who continued to try to break in. Durant's eyes have begun to become desperate at this moment. Is his life going to end here? But he really couldn't lift this heavy stone axe at all. At this time, Durant was surprised to find out. All the zombies who originally wanted to attack the wooden house turned their heads and looked in the direction behind them. Then he even gave up the direction of attacking the wooden house. Start walking in the direction behind you. Durant was very puzzled and forced himself to stand up with all his strength. Looking out the window, I saw an Asian man holding a simple knife, wearing a long leather jacket, and exuding a strong energy. It suddenly appeared behind the zombies that had besieged Durant. The Asian man's movements were clean and neat, and every knife was slashed directly on the zombie's forehead. It perfectly interprets what is meant by one knife and one zombie. And the plain knife in his hand is much stronger than Durant's stone axe. Durant's stone axe had to be swung twice to barely smash the head of a 10-song plus strength zombie. Wherever the simple knife in this Asian man's hand passed, it directly split the heads of these zombies in two. Seeing this scene at this time, the citizens of Yingjiang seemed to have seen the dawn of hope, and they were suddenly amazed. Ooh, is this the patron saint sent by God to protect Durant? Wow, it's an Asian kid. What country is he from? Saved. Our Eagle Jiang people are saved. Great gift crab. This Asian boy is very strong. One knife and one zombie, amazing. I saw it just now. This is a player from Banxi Kingdom, a famous action actor named Li Bingxian. According to Durant's observation, Li Bingxian is not only powerful with the simple knife in his hand. He must have comprehended a certain skill with his whole body exuding stellar energy. One of his attributes has been improved, otherwise it would not be so easy to deal with this group of zombies. Seeing his pressure drop sharply, Durant regained his spirits. Lifting the stone axe, he pushed open the door and rushed out to continue fighting with the group of zombies. A few minutes later, under the cooperation of Li Bingxian and Durant. *TT. Durant, who besieged the strong wooden house, was finally rescued. Durant did not put down the stone axe in his hand at this time, but turned to Li and asked first. Thanks bro. Which country player are you from? How did you come to my homeland? Li Bingxian also did not put down the simple knife in his hand. I'm from Banxi. Which country in the Philippines are you from? As a hey guy, Durant was a little speechless. Don't think I'm Filipino just by the color of my skin. I'm the Eagle Sauce Man. Li Bingxian noticed that this mud brother turned out to be a Yingjiang player. Although I think of my Bangzigu has always been Yingjiang's licking dog. But it will not be an opposing country that is hostile to each other. Li Bing was silent for a moment before responding. 0. It turned out to be like this. Since this is the case, there is no need for us to continue to be vigilant against each other. After finishing speaking, he put his simple knife back into the scabbard. Seeing that Li Bing first dispelled the hostility, Durant put down the heavy stone axe in his hand with relief. Bro, you still haven't told me how you came to my homeland. Li Bing first sighed and responded. Well, I didn't come to your homeland on purpose. After I finished exploring the 4 random rooms today, I want to go back to my hometown and have a good rest. But unlike you, I found the home building card and upgraded the house. Last night's strong winds have blown my dilapidated log cabin apart. What's even more outrageous is that tonight I met night attack monsters, and their strength is actually B+. So I can only use the props I got from exploring today, and I came to you. After all, Li Bing first took out a disc-shaped prop and showed it to Durant. Name, plain shuttle. Type, treasure. Quality, A. Function, players who use it can be randomly sent to the homes of players from other countries. Requirements, after entering the home of a player from another country, you cannot return to your home or initial plane within half an hour, and the shuttle can only be used once a day. Seeing this treasure, Durant's eyes lit up immediately. Gift crab, you still have such a powerful treasure. Come in the house, come in the house. 1. Chapter 71. At this time, the Banxi citizens who watched the live broadcast were very surprised. Is this Li Bingxian stupid? Why tell this treasure to this Eagle Sauce Man? That's right, why did he save the Eagle Sauce Man? After the Eagle Sauce Man is bitten to death by zombies, he can clean up the zombies and occupy his house. Is the one upstairs brain dead? Will the house still exist after this Eagle Sauce Man dies? It is estimated that Li Bing has his own plan first. Let's see what they say first. Don't panic, Li Bingxian. Uba's strength is higher than this mud brother. Even if this mud brother wants to be against Oppa, he is not Oppa's opponent. After Durant took Li Bing to his cabin first, Li Bingxian breathed a sigh of relief. What a nice house. I was blown to death by the windy weather last night. Durant then took out the 127 food and water and shared them with Li. Food and water are extremely important resources, if not for Li and save Durant's life first. Durant will not take out such precious resources to Li and share them first. But the most important thing is that Durant took a fancy to Li Bingxian's plane shuttle. Similarly, Li Xian also has his own plan. After eating and drinking enough, Li Bing first spoke directly to Durant and said, "Dude, thank you for your hospitality. Now I have a plan, I wonder if you would like to hear it." Dulan nodded with a smile and said, "Bro, you say." Li Bingxian had a sly gleam in his eyes at this moment. "I want to work with you." Durant's eyes lit up. Cooperation. How to cooperate? Li Bing first took out his plane shuttle and placed it on the table. "Brother, today's exploration is in addition to getting this plane shuttle. I also got this simple knife, strength +8, agility +8, and a skill, berserk, in 3 minutes, increase my strength attribute by 15%. But as you can see, I don't have a building that can protect me at night. So I want to cooperate with you and stay with you temporarily. Of course, I won't live in vain, I promise you. If you agree to cooperate with me, we can share our random room together, let's explore together. This not only improves our survival rate, but also allows us to get what we need and quickly improve our own strength. Of course, if there is a matrimonial room, of course you are yours and I am mine." Random Li and first showed a sinister smile. Of course the most important thing is this plane shuttle. With it, we can go to a random player's home every day. If he is sensible, he can cooperate with us, and we can win him over to share resources and improve together. If he refuses our cooperation, then with the strength of the two of us, we will kill him directly and rob him of food, water, equipment and other resources. Durant was very excited when he heard. Good plan, bro. It is said that Banksy is insidious and cunning. No, he is extremely intelligent, and he is really extraordinary. Li Bing first rolled his eyes. You better be. Then Durant changed his mind. Hey, but bro, what should we do if we meet a player stronger than the two of us? It's like that Emperor O in Washa, now I don't know how powerful he is. Li Bing first made a speechless expression. Then what else can I do? Die. In this game, if you are unlucky, you will die anyway. Why don't you try it out? The simple-minded Durant slammed the table. Shit, you're right, bro, from today onwards, you are my boss. Let's join hands to grow our power. Li Bing nodded first, thinking that he could finally sleep peacefully tonight. Seeing this scene, the citizens of Yingzhong were shocked. Shit, this stick is really insidious, but his plan sounds pretty good. Fact, Durant, you've humiliated our hawks, how can we bow to an Asian? Sure enough, hey slave is hey slave. When he sees others are stronger, he bows his head. It's embarrassing. Upstairs, you dare to discriminate against the color of your skin. Don't you want to live? How about looking down on him? If you have the ability, you can hack me along the network cable. Fake. The citizens of Banksy Kingdom were also amazed at Li Bingxian's plan. Yi Yishi, I didn't expect Li Bingxian, a big star, to have so many ghostly thoughts. After all, he is an actor from our Banksy country. Don't you understand how treacherous people in our Banksy country's show business circle are? Li Bingxian has played a lot of such insidious and cunning roles alone, so it's no wonder he can do this. But this plan sounds really reliable. Maybe our Banksy Kingdom will rise under the leadership of Obama. I hope so, just don't run into Washa's disgusting babe. Ziba. The Chinese nationals who have been watching their live broadcast room all sneered at Li Bingxian's approach. It is said that the sticks are all sinister and cunning villains, and now it seems that it is true. It seems that players from other countries will suffer. Who would have thought that these guys would actually get an A-level treasure? Let them come here at will. If they meet you God, they won't even have a chance to resist. Do you still want to form gangs in this game? I saw that this stick swallowed all the resources by himself in the end. I think it's very possible. After all, none of the sticks is a good thing. In the early morning of the next day, Yumo woke up from the soft and comfortable big bed. Crazy fight with Kyle last night. Let him feel what is called the will of an angel. But in the end, Fang Tian's painting halberd skills were superior. Finally defeated the blonde angel, making her beg for mercy and finally passed out. After Yumo tidied up his clothes, he came to the hall of the castle. Xiao Wu and Feng Ju also got up early at this time. Breakfast is prepared for Yumo, who is about to go out to explore. Yumo looked around and found Xiao Wu, who was originally hot and slender. On the lower abdomen with abdominal muscles, actually began to appear a slight bulge. Could this be the effect of the dragon's aura that comes with the S-level dragon training stone castle, which can make the fetus grow rapidly? Yumo walked behind Xiao Wu, gently touched Xiao Wu's stomach, and played with her rabbit ears for a while. Hee, my wife, it looks like our baby will be born soon. Xiao Wu smiled and said, after our castle was upgraded yesterday, I felt something was wrong with my stomach. I got up this morning and took a look, and found that it was a little bigger. It seems that the dragon breath in this castle is really powerful. Feng Ju looked at her still flat stomach with some displeasure. And what about my baby? After eating and drinking enough, Yumo took the excited Yi Fu. Came to the initial plane and started today's exploration. Yumo looked up at the 4 random rooms refreshed today. The doors are still all white. Monster room. Behind the door is a giant crocodile. Its strength is C+. It cannot be used as food. You can easily defeat it without injury. Monster room. Behind the door is a vampire bat. Its strength is D+. It cannot be used as food. You can easily defeat it without injury. Resource room. Behind the door is an equipment treasure chest. The material is the worst. Trap room. Behind the door is a spiked hole. Just cross over. Yumo looked at his remaining source points. Although yesterday, it cost 500 source points to refresh the potential SSS Night Fury in one shot. But the previous exploration left him with 760 source points left. If it is only used to refresh the room, it can refresh 7 times in a row. But now that the game version has just been updated, Yumo doesn't know if his source point will play a role at the critical moment. And with his current strength, no monsters or players from other countries can pose a threat to him. Yumo simply kept the source point first, to see if there is any big use later. Then he said to Yi Fu 25, who was staring at the 4 doors in a daze. Night Fury, our main task today is to adapt you to the fighting process and improve your abilities. The master will sweep the formation for you later, so you can attack the monster behind the door without worry. When Yi Fury heard that he was able to fight, he immediately nodded excitedly. Whoa, then he flapped his wings vigorously. Said that his current state is very good. Then Yumo pushed open the doors of the 2 monster rooms one after another. Standing behind him, let Night Fury fight vampire bats and giant crocodiles. The current strength of Night Fury has reached C+. And the strength of the vampire bat as its first opponent is only D+. When Yumo and Yi Fu just stepped into the room, the vampire bats immediately attacked Yumo. The highly vigilant Yi Fiend immediately flew up, and slammed into the vampire bat in midair. The hard head suddenly hit the face of the vampire bat. The powerful force knocked the swooping vampire bat unconscious. However, Yi Fu, who fought for the first time, realized the importance of making up the knife without a teacher. He stomped again and smashed the vampire bat's head with his dragon claws. Yumo harvests 15 source points. When fighting against the giant crocodile, Night Fury took the initiative to attack. Fly close to the ground and engage in hand-to-hand combat with giant crocodiles. To Yumo's surprise, the advantage of Julie Crocodile, which is also C+, is its good force attribute. The crocodile's claw can directly make a shallow pit on the ground in front of it with every effort. And Yi Fu was able to fight back and forth with the giant crocodile through brute force. It even has a dexterous speed that the giant crocodile does not have, and the most critical flying ability. Under the nimble figure of Night Fiend and the strength that can contend with it, the giant crocodile was finally shot to death by Yi Furin's steel dragon tail. Yumo harvested 30 source points again. Satisfied, Yumo immediately brought Yi Fury back to the initial plane again, and went into the resource room to take out a piece of novice equipment. Then skim over the traps in the trap room. Refresh 4 rooms again. Monster room. Monster room. Empty room. Empty room. One morning, a monster room appeared, and Yumo took Yifu into it to improve his strength and increase his source points. When you encounter a resource room, go into harvest equipment and obtain supplies. Until now, kill the C+ monster in front of you. A golden light finally appeared on Yifuan's body again. Name: Night Fiend, growing stage. Race: Dragon. Gender: 6. Strength: B. Potential: SSS. Skills: Steel Dragon Tail, Energy Breath. And with the flash of golden light, Yumo found that Yifuan's size was nearly half of that of the chef just now. The scales on the body become more lustrous and look harder. Even the contours of the muscles on his body became clearer. Whoa, even Yifu's current roar of the dragon's roar has become thicker and more powerful. Yumo smiled slightly. Did it improve so quickly? It's not in vain that I trained with you all morning. Night Fury. At this time, Yifu still obediently rubbed Yumo's leg with his face. It seems that it is still the very well-behaved cub. Seeing such a rapid growth under Yumo's leadership of Yifuan's violent push map, the Chinese people applauded one after another. In one morning, Night Fury's strength has reached B. Brother, don't you look at how many rooms Yu Shen took ye to clean up. How many monsters he killed. There is no room refresh limit, just do whatever you want. Moo God. It seems that within a month, Night Fury may be able to reach SS level strength. Just kidding, how can it be so simple? The experience required to improve each level of strength will increase exponentially. Upstairs, you seem to understand it very well, do you understand, brother? On the other hand, those citizens who are hostile to China, looking at Yifu who has grown up again, said enviously. Baga, the strength of the dragon clan has reached B. This is too fast. Fac, Durant, don't sleep with that Asian boy. Hurry up and explore. Shiete, no matter what, players from other countries can't catch up with the progress of this Washa kid. Hey, people are more angry than people. It seems that in a short time, Washa Uhuang will be able to ride a SSS dragon and hold a divine weapon in this game. There is nothing to say, envy, it is a beautiful oyster. And just when Yumo was going to take the grown-up Yifu back home, take a good rest and have lunch. Yumo from the last room, but was attracted by the refreshed room again. Because of the 4 doors refurbished, 10 of them turned out to be red doors. Yumo was very shocked. This is the first time that the red door appeared in this matchmaking game. Before, it was either a white random room or a pink marriage room. When did the red door appear? And at this time, Ah Sangwo's live broadcast also ushered in a burst of noise. Because of that antisocial pariah, Jan Dillett is taking his wife, Ant Lizard. It also pushed open the red door that was painted today. In the past few days, although Ken Dillett is not considered to be full of European spirit, he can be called a lucky physique. Because in the past few days of exploration, although this Ah San didn't refresh any marriage room, he could only charge towards Ant Lizard every day. But any random room he explores is an item beneficial to him, such as food, water, equipment, and skill books. Now Ken Dillett has been equipped with weapons, armor, and bottoms, and some attributes have been increased. Moreover, he also learned a melee skill, which is very practical in combat. And when the monsters attacked at night last night, he and his wife, Ant Lizard, successfully killed all the monsters that attacked at night. But today, he just woke up and came to the initial plane. It was found that the red door was painted. Although he doesn't know what this means, he has been suffering from not being able to find a chance to take revenge on the aristocratic citizen of Asan. Return home immediately and wake up the lizard ant, let it accompany you to this red room to explore. When Ken Dillett opened the red door with Mrs. Lizard, what came into view was a long tumbling river. The other bank of the long river was filled with thick fog, so that neither Ken Dillett nor the lizard ant could see a trace of the outline of the other bank. That's when Ken Dillett and Mama Lizard wonder what type of room they're in. The prompt text of the game system appeared in front of their eyes. You have entered the high-end marriage matching room, now you will accept Shintu, Chuan A's daughter's marriage trial factory. If you pass the test, you will become a husband and wife with the descendant of God, the daughter of Xuan. Seeing this prompt, Ken Dillett and Ant Lizard suddenly showed expressions of extreme shock. as a pariah who hates the nobles of the three kingdoms extremely. Ken Dillett naturally didn't want to bring any national luck rewards to the three kingdoms. He has only one goal, which is to hold ceremonies with all kinds of extremely ugly and low-strength marriage partners. Bring reverse national luck rewards to the people of Asan. Take revenge on this group of nobles who are always superior to them and the disgusting Asangwo of this system. So Ken Dillett took Ant Lizard to explore the random room constantly improving his strength and saving his life. The purpose is to directly take her down if you encounter an ugly marriage partner when opening the marriage room. If you meet a beautiful marriage partner, instead of performing a ceremony with her, you must kill her in front of Asan. Completely destroy the mentality of this group of Asan citizens. But now, a descendant of God, daughter of Xuan unexpectedly appeared. And it is also a senior marriage room. So isn't this contrary to his original intention? The lizard ant on the side also showed a very disgusted expression. Although Ken Dillett looks ugly, his strength in that aspect is hard to describe. But he is her husband after all. Now there is a woman who is called a descendant of God, trying to compete with her for a man. How can this be tolerated? But in contrast, at this moment, the citizens of Asan all had expressions of surprise on their faces. Compatriots, looks like we are saved. This is a high-end marriage room. Ken Dillett, a pariah, should be the first player in the world to brush up to a high-end marriage room. Descendant of God, daughter of Xuan. It sounds like a powerful beauty. If this untouchable performs a ceremony with her, will we, now covered in scales, have a chance to return to our original form? Not only can I change back to my original appearance, but I'm sure I'll be able to get a very good national games reward. Our three kingdoms are about to rise. This pariah Ken Dillett, be sure to behave well and pass the test. The movement of Asangwo also attracted a group of Chinese citizens to watch. What the hell, this Asan is still alive. Not only did he not die, but he also improved his strength these few days, but he was too dark these few days, and he didn't meet any marriage room. So after a few days of luck, have you opened a high-end marriage room after the game version update today? 6. Miracle still has to go through her trial group. My family, it seems that Yu Shen has created a high-end marriage room too. In the game world, just when Ken Dillett and the lizard ant were at a loss, a splash of water suddenly exploded in the surging river. A figure gradually emerged from the river. Ken Dillett and Mama Lizard take a closer look. Her appearance is both beautiful and eerie, like a shadow floating above a river. She has a delicate face, beautiful contours and fair skin exuding a fascinating brilliance. However, her eyes revealed a deep and cold aura, like an undetectable black hole like an abyss. The long black hair wraps around her body like water patterns, swaying gently with the wind, as if hiding endless mysterious areas of power. She was wearing a plain white robe that covered her whole body, giving people a feeling of being out of the world. She floats gracefully on the surface of the river, as if blending with the water, which makes people feel a pervasive breath of death. She is like a goddess from the dark abyss, which is both fearful and yearning. Hee, a man with an ugly face. Is this old lizard your pet? Her smile is creepy, it is a biting and cold smile, as if mocking the smallness and fragility of mortals. No matter what angle you look at her from, you can't hide the cold horror emanating from her body. Her existence makes people feel palpitations, as if they are in a world that hides endless malice. As a mortal, Ken Dillett was immediately suppressed by the powerful aura of the daughter of Xuan and knelt down. Eyes full of fear looked at this god descendant who seemed to come from hell. Although the lizard ant on the side was also shocked by the aura of the daughter of Xuan. However, its overall strength is higher than that of Ken Dillett, and it said angrily at the moment. What pet? I am his wife. I'm warning you, don't think that I'm afraid of you if you are some god. If you dare to rob me of my husband. Before Ant Lizard finished speaking, the daughter of Xuan dared to contradict and insult herself when she saw her. Immediately with a wave of the flicker, the streams of water are like flowing sharp arrows. Immediately, it shot out from the river at a speed that the naked eye could not capture. Immediately, it penetrated the body of Ant Lizard, making it riddled with holes and continuously flowing out green blood. Ant Lizard's expression still maintained the anger she had just had. But the next moment the whole body crashed down. Ken Dillett, who was kneeling, was trembling with fright at this scene. Unbelievable. Seeing that the lizard ant who had been with him for several days was instantly killed by the daughter of Xuan in the blink of an eye. Only then did he realize how terrifying the strength of this god descendant's marriage partner was. The next one is you. Tremble. Hearing the ethereal voice of the Lady of the River, Kendillet was shocked. Why am I next? The trial hasn't even started yet. The daughter of Xuan snorted coldly. He. The trial has already begun. Looking at your face makes me want to throw up. Your charm is too low, you are not worthy of my trial. Wang Nuos said. The rushing river surged again, forming a huge vortex in an instant. The powerful attraction that burst out immediately sucked Kendillet in. Under Kendillet's desperate eyes, his body was immediately torn to pieces by the rushing river. Detected the death of a player from the Three Kingdoms. 10 minutes later, a large-scale disaster will randomly occur in the Three Kingdoms. After the disaster is over, players will be selected again to enter the game frenzy. Seeing this scene, all Asan citizens were stunned. What chicken high-end marriage room? What chicken trial? If you are ugly, you have no chance. Pariah Kendillet, why are you so ugly? Mega disaster. Fellow citizens, are we going to be done? Because he died in a high-end marriage room. So he will suffer a major disaster. Shet, Fark, is our great Asan nation about to perish? Untouchables. 10 minutes later, streaks of emerald green light suddenly shot down from the sky of Sangwo. The directions of the rays of light are uniform. All fell into the mysterious Ganges River in Asan Kingdom. At the moment when it was illuminated by one after another emerald green light, I saw that the Ganges suddenly became windless and automatic, and began to churn. Before the citizens of Asan on both banks could react, the water of the Ganges River, whose elements exceeded the standard by 100 times, suddenly shot up into the sky. A lot of rotting animal carcasses, feces, and all kinds of garbage were also brought out. And it seems that there is a steady stream of pressure on both sides of the strait. The low-quality buildings on both sides of the river were suddenly smashed to pieces by the powerful river. Countless Asan citizens were immediately involved in the Ganges flood. Towns and cities were completely destroyed in just a few minutes. A howl of mourning resounded through the sky above Sangwo. Seeing that the so-called trial hadn't even started yet, Kendillet of Sangwo was directly killed. Moreover, the extremely terrifying Ganges flood broke out in the Three Kingdoms. Many towns and citizens were instantly wiped out. The people of Washa were shocked by this new high-end marriage room. You're so ugly that you don't even have the qualifications to start the trial. Then the 100 citizens of the Three Kingdoms will die as soon as they enter the high-end marriage room. It can be seen that the charm attribute is also very important. Then I don't worry, our Yushen's charm attribute should have broken through 100, the whole person looks like a male succubus. That's natural. Yushen's current face and figure are like works of art. Still chatting, it seems that Yushen is about to open the door and go in. In the Washa official meeting room, facing the sudden appearance of a new type of room, everyone's heart was raised. Did you see the tragedy of Sangwo just now? That player was killed as soon as he entered, there was no chance. This is a marriage partner who is known as a descendant of God. Is the strength so terrifying? Right now, terrible floods have erupted on both sides of the Ganges River in the Three Kingdoms. I don't know how many towns have been razed to the ground. Don't worry everyone, Yuhei's charm is very high, so there must be no problem. But even so, in addition to looking at the face, Yumo has to accept the test of the descendant of the gods. Can he pass? At this moment, the great elder folded his arms around his chest and stared nervously at the live broadcast. In front of him, there are 10 confidential CFDH documents. These confidential documents contain military plans one by one. Yumo in the game world uses its own dimensional template system. Viewed information on this door. Target: Senior Marriage Room. Residence: Onera. Race: Goddess, daughter of Chimera. Strength: SS. Features: huge body, 3 heads, lion head, ferocious, destructive, controlling elements. Appearance value: 20 based on public aesthetics, the full value is 100. Evaluation: the daughter of Chimera who controls the 3 elements of thunder, ice, and fire. She looks extremely ugly, has a violent nature and loves to kill, and compared to your size, she is a Godzilla. Difficulty of trial comprehensive host's own situation. You immediately shouted inwardly. I rely on high-end marriage room. Is this also part of the game version update? Without using the dimensional template system to refresh, the gods inside can have the strength of SS. Then if you hold a ceremony with the descendants of the gods. But this marriage partner is really hard to describe. At this time, it's time for your golden finger to play a role. Yumo immediately said silently in his heart. System, refresh. Ding. The host chooses to refresh the marriage partner, consuming 800 source points. The system is refreshed immediately. 1000-dimensional template refresh completed. 800 source points once. Fortunately, I took Yifurin to push the map training in the morning, and got nearly 200 source points. Adding the remaining 760 source points from yesterday, this is enough to pay for the 800 source points. When the system prompts that the refresh is successful, a string of text reappears in the marriage room in front of Yumo. Target: Senior Marriage Room. Residence: Wuzheng Xinyuekui. Race: Deity, High Priest of the Gods. Strength: SS+. Features: Conjurer, black and straight, plump, breathtaking, god-level appearance, very big, super big. Appearance value: 108. Taking the public's aesthetics as a reference, the full value is 100, which is an exception. Comment: The High Priest of the Gods in the anime dimension has a beautiful face. She has long forgotten those conspiracies and tricks. If you pass her test, you are the only artificial person she guards in this life. Difficulty of trial comprehensive host's own situation. Yumo immediately suppressed the excitement in his heart. Unexpectedly, Xinyuekui's face value unexpectedly reached 108. He is taller than Xiao Wu, Fengju and Kyle. Worthy of being a descendant of the god race. Moreover, he is also a Protoss high priest with SS plus strength. If I passed her test, wouldn't I have achieved the achievement of the sun god? Thinking of this, Yu smiled and said to Yi Sha beside him. Yi Fu, master has urgent matters to deal with now. I'll send you back home, you have a good rest. Yi Fu looked at Yumo puzzled. Whoa, the Chinese citizens who watched the live broadcast were shocked. Yu Shen really decided to explore this high-end marriage room. Essence: Night Fury is still a child, children can't watch it. Did you see the miserable appearance of that player from the Three Kingdoms just now? I'm really worried about God. I hope that Yushen's Uhuang physique will be stimulated again. God, you must bless our Washa Shengguang. Yu Shen has never let us down. Don't worry, everyone. After Yumo sent Yi Fu back home, immediately pushed open the red door. He wanted to see what the trial of the Protoss High Priest was like. As soon as he opened the door, Yumo came to a god's domain formed by the gathering of energy. There is no actual support under his feet. Every step forward, Yu Hei's footprints will leave bursts of energy ripples in place. Surrounded by purple and black mantra energy, it makes people feel like they are in a mysterious energy field. At this time, the prompt text of the game system appeared in front of Yumo and the Chinese citizens watching the live broadcast. You have entered the high-level marriage room, now you will accept the marriage test of the god descendant, the god race high priest. If you pass the test, you will become husband and wife with Shintu Xinyue. At the same time, a bright purple light flourished. A beautiful figure also appeared in front of Yumo's eyes. She is tall and straight, with a graceful figure, and her snow-white skin is as crystal clear as glass. A head of jet black long hair as black as a horse's mane, dotted with shimmering star hairpins on the long hair, like stars in the night sky. There was an aura of nobility and wisdom exuding from her brows, and her eyes were as clear and deep as the blue sea, shining with the light of wisdom. The lips are red and the teeth are white, and the slightly raised corners of the mouth outline an elegant smile, giving people a gentle and mysterious feeling. Her clothes are mainly black, the skirt hangs down like a waterfall, the sleeves are embroidered with delicate gold silk patterns, and the robe is dotted with sparkling gems. The gully on her chest makes people know her stalwart. Headgear: the headgear worn is transformed from the sun and moon, with patterns and radiance, implying ancient mysterious power. It is the high priest of the Protoss, Xinyuekui. When Xinyuekui appeared on the live broadcast screen, all the Chinese people suddenly boiled. This god-descendant object is also beautiful, it's so big. This, my ideal type in my dream doesn't even dare to think like that. Is there really such a beautiful woman in this world? It's a mature woman who is all over the country. I can't stop my nosebleed. You group of ISPs. Can't help seeing a prodigy object. What about my paper? It's so beautiful, so there is such a plump goddess. I can't control my saliva. Those foreign devils who are hostile to China are also shocked by the beauty of this woman in front of them. Gift crab. What a hot oriental woman. Fake. If I can see this kind of woman with my own eyes once in my life, I will die with no regrets. Zyba. The beautiful face of an oriental woman and the explosive figure of a westerner, do these really exist? Baga. This Chinese man must not be in the eyes of this God-born woman, kill this Chinese man for me. I'm dumbfounded, is this the quality of a high-end marriage room? At this time, Shinuekui slowly landed in front of Yumo, holding this gorgeous staff tightly in her hand. This looks and temperament is very good. You passed the first test. Yumo couldn't help laughing out. Oh, I didn't do anything, and I passed the first trial. Then what is the second trial? Seeing that Shinuekui directly announced that Yumo had passed the first trial, the devils who are hostile to China said in surprise. It turns out that the first trial really depends on the player's charm. If you're not handsome, you're not qualified to participate in the trial, bull. Appearance is justice, no wonder that Ah-san died so badly. Zyba, I admit that Yumo is very handsome, but you, a divine woman, can't you raise your requirements a little bit? But it seems that it is difficult to find a man who is more handsome than this Chinese man, even those celebrities are not as good as him now. Shinuekui smiled slightly. The second test is to test your Xinxing choice. Yumo frowned. My Xinxing choice. How to test? Shinuekui didn't speak, but floated her magic staff above the void. A bright purple light shot up into the sky. A line of game system text was instantly projected in front of Yumo. Choose one. You will get an increase of 80 points in all attributes, and 2 pieces of epic equipment, at the cost of exempting all the national luck currently obtained by your country. Option 2. You get 2 artifacts at the cost of sacrificing the lives of 2 million people in your country. Option 3. You use or donate any equipment, resources, laws, etc. you own, as well as 20-year lifespan, to any country other than the dependent country. If you refuse, the player's country will suffer a major disaster. As soon as these 3 choices came out, Yumo didn't respond at all. Instead, a group of Chinese citizens watching the live broadcast could not sit still at the moment. Choice of mind. These options are outrageous. Yu Shen will not let China suffer disaster for attribute equipment. No, everyone, we have to believe in God. God is the one who has brought us many national fortune rewards for China. But this reward is really tempting. 80 points in all attributes, 2 epic weapons. Can Yu Shen hold it? Then what about these 2 artifacts? You have also seen how powerful Yu Shen's artifact is. God will not sacrifice the lives of our 2 million citizens. Seeing this, Yingzhong, Sakura Banksy and Ah Sangguo and other citizens who are hostile to China jumped out excitedly. Ha 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 ha, Yoshi, I don't believe he can resist this temptation. Fake, don't be stupid you Chinese people, how could he give up 20 years of life for you? Attributes, equipment, artifacts, which player can refuse it? Chinese people, you wait to die. Even if this Yumo chooses the 3rd item, then the rest of our countries can get good rewards. He himself lost 20 years of life. He will definitely choose the first 2, people are selfish. Even in the Washa conference room at this moment, everyone was staring at the live broadcast screen very nervously. The palms of his hands were already sweating, guessing the choice Yumo made. The great elder even stood up directly. Yumo, 0.0. I hope you don't let us down. In the game world, Shinuekui smiled. How about it? Have you chosen? Yumo nodded, and said in a solemn voice with no expression on his face. I've chosen. I choose. The 3rd choice. As soon as this remark came out, Yumo was immediately deducted 20 years of life by the game system. All Chinese citizens were moved to tears. Sure enough, Yumo did not disappoint them, even at the expense of his 20 years of life. Nor did anything harmful to China. Those citizens who were hostile to Washa yelled at him as a fool, and some people who were willing to fight for their own country. Dedicate your life and resources. Shinuekui raised her brows as she looked at the lifespan that was absorbed by the system. It seems that at this moment, Yumo has left a deep impression in her heart. Please use or dedicate any equipment, resources, and rules you own to any country other than the dependent country. If you refuse, the player's country will suffer a major disaster. Everyone watching the live broadcast was very nervous at this moment. They were discussing what Yumo would come up with for other countries to use. Yumo smiled calmly. I use my Shira experience for Eagle Sauce. Asura experience. Players get a random large-scale disaster, which can be placed in any country except the country they belong to. Players can use it at any time. The player chooses successfully. After 3 minutes, Eagle Sauce will randomly generate a large-scale disaster. A 20-year lifespan. Yumo doesn't take the 20-year lifespan into consideration at all. After all, I have held ceremonies with 3 wives so far. And both Xiao Wu and Fengju are pregnant. He himself can't remember how many years of life he has added. But it must be much more than 20 years. Just deduct the deduction, and take down the high priest of the Protoss in front of you later. I don't know how many years I can add to myself. And it is even more impossible for him to sacrifice the national fortune rewards Washa received and the lives of 2 million Wazong compatriots for his own benefit. The most important thing is that I have never seriously thought about which country I will use my Asura experience. And just after the words, for use by other countries during the May 13th, and rules of the third choice just came out. Yumo immediately thought of this. So I immediately chose to throw it on Yingzhong. Seeing the choice made by Yumo, all Chinese citizens raised their arms and shouted. Long live Yu God! Yu God is righteous. I just said that it is impossible for Yumo to damage our Washa for himself. It is worthy of our Washa Shengguang. Ha 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 ha, why is Yu Shen so smart that he found the Sura experience at the bottom of the box? Sigh, it's a pity that God Yu has a lifespan of 20 years, but I believe that God Yu will definitely be able to increase it back in subsequent explorations. Having Yumo as our Washa player is our blessing. I laughed so hard, Yingzhong got shot while lying down too. On the other hand, the citizens of Yingzhong, originally they wanted to wait to make trouble and make fun of the Chinese people. After all, in their cognition, their own interests are far above everything else. Unexpectedly, Yumo really sacrificed his own interests to protect Washa, and even came up with such an operation that made them feel like they were eating shi. Gift crab. What the hell is this Sura experience that this kid is using? Fact. This is the reward he received as the first player in the world to kill a boss-level monster. Mary Fock, why would he want to use this Sura experience on our Eagle Sauce? Chinese people, isn't your old enemy the Sakura people? Our great Eagle Sauce asked you to mess with you. Everyone in the Washa official had tears in their eyes at this time, they were just moved by Yuhei's righteous act. The second is to feel ashamed that they even appeared to question Yumo's ideas just now. Yumo is insisting that it will not harm any of our Washa interests. 20 years of life. He sacrificed too much. I didn't expect Yumo to have an achievement reward Sura experience that I didn't use. This trick is amazing. Yumo, you will always be the pillar of China's country. The hope of the country. The great elder was also full of excitement at this time, and said to everyone. Yumo did his best for Washa in the national fortune matching game. Our Chinese citizens in the real world must also go all out. It is used to bring us the national luck rewards, and quickly increase the national power. Whether it is to improve our strength in the world or to resist the civilization of another dimension 3 years later, we must speed up the pace of improving our national strength. 3 minutes later, Eagle Sauce landed in the field. By the sky above the 3 important cities of Amy, Jinzhou, and Houston. The meteorite falling from the sky fell at an alarming speed, like a huge meteor piercing the peaceful sky. As the meteorite crashed into the centers of the 3 cities, a loud bang roared, and the deafening noise instantly enveloped the entire city. The energy generated by the impact spread instantly, like an irresistible destructive force, instantly destroying the entire city's buildings and streets. All of a sudden, a huge shock wave roared in, destroying high-rise buildings, the overwhelming flames burned everything, and the black smoke filled the air, symbolizing the city's mourning. The people in the 3 city centers didn't even have time to react, and they turned into flying ash immediately. Faced with this catastrophic impact, the city fell into chaos and panic. On the street, vehicles rolled over, explosions sounded one after another, and the whole city became a messy and chaotic scene. People fled in panic, unable to resist the ruthless destruction of fate. Screams, cries, and sounds of collapse are intertwined to form the last note of the city's struggle. In this chaos, the lonely survivors in the ruins stepped on the ruins and ashes in confusion, wandering in the familiar city. Their hearts were torn apart by this large-scale disaster, and sadness and helplessness filled the air. The hysterical cries and wails in the city seemed to be desperate appeals to fate, but only echoed in vain. This huge disaster turned the beauty of the city into dilapidated ruins in an instant. The buildings of the city were reduced to ashes, and the once bustling streets were now a testament to destruction. Thousands of lives died, and the soul of the city also died with the fall of the meteorite. Seeing the large-scale disasters encountered by the three cities through satellites, the citizens of Eagle Sauce were completely in a rage. Fact: how many gargoyles died in this disaster? Mommy Fok, declare war on Washa. Blame the Washa people. I buy karma, it's too miserable for the people in these cities. Where's our gun? I'm going to sign up for the army. If Washa doesn't give us an explanation, we will attack Washa immediately. And the Chinese citizens, who were very relieved to see it, replied one after another. When you invaded China, how many soldiers did you kill with your own hands? Now you are calling here again. Disgusting Eagle Sauce, come here if you can. Now every Chinese person has added a lot of attributes. I want to see how you Yingjiang can beat us Chinese people. Want to launch a 0.3 war? Do you still have nuclear weapons? Let's fight the bayonet, and we Washa are not afraid of you. A bunch of jumping clowns, so what if I mess with you? Stand at attention. Soon, the Eagle Sauce official released a news condemning China internationally. Condemn Washa players for throwing a large-scale disaster on Yingjiang, and demand Washa immediately make a reasonable explanation and pay sky-high compensation. Otherwise, Eagle Sauce will take severe measures. But Washa officials responded immediately. The operations of Washa players only represent personal positions and have nothing to do with Washa, but if Yingjiang wants to head-to-head with Washa, Washa is more than happy. With Yingjiang's current national strength, how dare he pretend to be a tiger here? Threatening Washa. Washa's backhand can directly destroy an Eagle Sauce. Seeing Yumo made a choice, Shinyuekui nodded in satisfaction. The second trial is over. You really are a gentleman with integrity and selfless devotion. Yumo smiled slightly. Thank you for your praise. So, there is still a third trial. Shinyuekui smiled, and a few wisps of calendar flowed from her fingers. The staff suspended in midair immediately returned to his hand. The third trial is to test your strength. If you can last 10 rounds in my hands, it is regarded as passing the trial. Yumo's eyes lit up immediately, and he smiled slightly. 10 rounds. It's not a problem to fight you for 300 rounds. Shinyuekui didn't realize that Yumo was driving, but smiled slightly. It seems that you are very confident. Let's make a move. After saying that, Shinyuekui made a momentary move, and immediately pulled dozens of positions away from Yumo. The magic power flowed all over his body, and he put the wand in front of him, and he already made a fighting posture. Yumo didn't talk nonsense, and immediately summoned his own artifact, Venlei Jenden. Immediately, there was a surge of lightning arcs around him, and bursts of dragon chant burst out. The Chinese citizens who watched this scene became nervous. God Yu wants to fight the descendants of the gods. Can God Yu beat her? You don't need to be able to beat it. This beauty of the gods said that 10 rounds are enough. Laughing to death, it seems that she doesn't understand what Yu God means by the 300 rounds of the war. It doesn't matter, if Yu Shen passes the test, she will understand. Yu Shen is the one who owns the artifact now, there will be no problem. The nationals of hostile countries stand up again at this moment to be demons. HMPH, a mortal actually wants to challenge the descendants of the gods. Just dream. Zyba, don't talk about 10 rounds, I bet this Chinese person can't hold on to even 1 round. Baga, you were right, kill this Chinese man. Mommy Fok, smash the enemy of our Eagle Sauce into pieces. So what if you have an artifact? Could it be that you can beat this god descendant? In the game world, Shinyuekui saw that Yumo was ready to fight. Then he showed a confident smile. Be careful. After saying that, Shinuekui recited the formula, and the magic staff in her hand immediately emitted a bright purple light. One by one, mysterious Joe-Wen immediately emerged. Dozens of eclipses were summoned. These dozens of eclipsed psychic bodies are transparent, but each of them exudes powerful magic power. The outline of the body is very strong and tall, and it seems to have extremely powerful strength. With the magic staff in Shinuekui's hand, she pointed at Yumo. Dozens of eclipses immediately rushed towards Yumo and launched a fierce attack on him. Yumo narrowed his eyes slightly, and the skill flame armor was activated immediately. Putting on the holy armor buff, Yumo's whole body was immediately covered with the majestic flame holy armor. While improving its own defense, it also added a powerful fire element to its attack. Drink. Yumo's figure was activated immediately, and the thunderous gentian in his hand burst out bursts of dragon chant. I saw Yumo's figure was extremely agile, and the tip of the Benlei Gendon spear in his hand swept across all directions like a wild beast breaking out of a cage. Pick, split, stab, chop. Benlei Gendon exerted extremely strong power in Yumo's hands. The constantly surging electric arc intertwined with the scalding flames. Plus Yumo's own horror attributes. Immediately, dozens of eclipse spirits released by Shinuekui were directly blasted to pieces. Incomparable shock flashed in Shinuekui's bright beautiful eyes. Looking at the handsome man on the court who is full of heroism, he looks like a god descending from the earth. It has such a powerful and incomparable strength. This made Shinuekui's mind gradually rippling, with spring waves. But the trial was not over. Shinuekui recited the formula again and summoned dozens of eclipses. With Shinuekui's left hand pinching the formula, the magic power suddenly burst out. Dozens of spirit-eating spirits immediately merged into a 3-meter-high giant spirit-eating spirit. The spirit-eating giant stomped away towards the attacking Yuji with heavy steps. Seeing this, Yumo was not afraid at all, and once again clenched the Benlei Gendon in his hand. Release the skill Run Thunder Fury Dragon Stab. I saw that with the injection of Yuhei's magic power, the gun body of Benlei Gendon suddenly vibrated violently. Thunder arcs burst out like giant snakes. Immediately, Yumo's body merged into a powerful thunder dragon. Driving Yumo, who was covered in flame armor, it turned into a flame thunder in the midair. Instantly penetrated the body of the spirit-eating giant. The power of thunder and flame burst out, directly smashing the spirit-corrupting giant into pieces. Shinuekui was shocked when she saw such a powerful skill. Her eyes instantly glowed with a bright purple magic light. In a low voice, he recited the formula again. Skill, Seal of Fuxi starts immediately. This is Shinuekui's most powerful control skill. Enemies hit by this skill will be devoured by the Eclipse Spirit, and all attributes will drop by 40%, falling into a suppressed state. And the Devouring Spirit will appear immediately, attacking the suppressed target. Under normal circumstances, Shinuekui would not use this skill easily. But seeing Yumo's strength is so terrifying, she had no choice but to sacrifice this skill as the assessment standard. But Yumo who owns the Dream Bagua pendant. The most feared thing is control skills. When the illusory seal blasted by Shinuekui comes under heavy pressure. The dream talk on Yumo's chest, the 8 diagrams pendant immediately burst out with a powerful golden light. The gossip card in the center immediately rotates rapidly, and an illusory gossip map immediately emerges. After absorbing Shinuekui's illusory seal, a more powerful energy was instantly aroused and directly hit 023 the frightened Shinuekui. Well, Shinuekui only felt that her power was passing away quickly, and for some reason there appeared in her body the Eclipse Spirit with devouring attribute. Roar! The Eclipse Spirit that devoured 80% of Shinuekui's attributes suddenly appeared. Dream Bagua Pendant double returns control skills. He raised his arm high and slammed it down on Shinuekui's head. And Shinuekui, who had been devoured by 80% of her attributes, was completely powerless at this moment, and the magic power to manipulate the Eclipse Spirit had almost dissipated. Just when Shinuekui thought she was going to die at the hands of her eclipse. Her body seemed to be hugged by someone, and she came to the corner of this space in the blink of an eye. Feeling the heat coming from her, Shinuekui looked up and saw that it was Yumo who had just used teleportation to save Shinuekui. That resolute and handsome face immediately made Shinuekui's heart flutter. This trial is too dangerous, it almost killed yourself. Yumo smiled slightly at Shinuekui. Shinuekui's face immediately turned red, she never expected it. As a divine descendant of the assessment, he survived by relying on Yumo who participated in the assessment. Leave that eclipse to me. After all, Yumo reluctantly took his hand away from Shinuekui's soft body. Going forward, he rushed to the Thunder and Fury Dragon Thorn, blasting at the giant spirit-eating giant that had devoured 80% of Shinuekui's attributes. The spirit-eclipsing giant absorbed 80% of all attributes of Shinuekui, whose strength was SS+. Although the strength is also very strong. But for Yumo, who was holding Benlei Jenden in his hand, it became much easier. The skill Ben Thunder Fury Dragon Thorn was released again. It directly blasted the spirit-eating giant that was chasing it upside down. He fell heavily on the support of this energy void. The powerful lightning and flames also blasted the body of the spirit-corroding giant into cracks. Seeing this, Yumo didn't pause. Immediately mobilize the spiritual power in the body and release the skill, Fierce Fox Fire. I saw Yumo's left palm suddenly opened, and a group of extremely thick crimson flames immediately pressed heavily towards the fallen spirit-eating giant. Benlei Genshin not only adds 100 attributes to Yumo. Intelligence attributes also increased by 60 points. At this moment, Yumo, who has 216 intelligence points, released the Fierce Fox Fire with extremely terrifying lethality. The spirit-eating giant, who had no time to dodge, was immediately swallowed by the burning fox fire. It began to burn every corner of its body non-stop. The mana that keeps it moving is also rapidly draining. Seeing that the spirit-corroding giant was still struggling, Yumo immediately urged all his strength and threw the Benlei Genshin in his hand. Benlei Jenden hit the head of the spirit-eating giant. Immediately, Yumo nailed him to the wall where the void energy gathered. Yumo yelled angrily, and added another shot of Fierce Fox Fire with full power. The extremely powerful crimson flames finally completely devoured the vitality of the spirit-corroding giant, turning into dust and dissipating. Yumo took back Benlei Jenden, and looked back at Shinuekui, whose eyes were full of admiration at this time. This third trial, did I pass? At this time, Shinuekui has completely fallen into Yumo's handsome face and powerful strength. She lowered her head shyly and said softly, "It's my lack of strength, I almost died by my own hands. You saved my life." Of course it passed. Yumo approached Shinuekui with a smile, held her delicate and small cheek with his hand and asked, "Then, are you willing to be my wife?" Shinuekui smiled shyly, forming a sharp contrast with her solemn high priest image. Yumo asked with a smile, "Honey, now you." Shinuekui nodded. "When you dealt with the spirit-eating giant, I already mobilized my spiritual power to restore my physical strength. Although it has not reached a normal state, but..." Yumo immediately took off the gorgeous headdress on Shinuekui's head, letting her black hair fall down like a waterfall. There is no but. Afterwards, the Washa Live broadcast room fell into darkness. This means, Yumo, Sun God, is successful. At this moment, the whole country of Washa is boiling, and hundreds of millions of Chinese citizens are very excited. Strong. It's simply too strong. Yu Shen used his own strength to directly conquer this god-born beauty. It has to be our Washa Shengguang, the world's first sun god man. This is the marriage partner of the descendants of the gods. I don't know what a powerful national luck reward it can bring to China. Yumo's current strength is simply too terrifying, even the eclipses released by the descendants of the gods are no match for him. Not only is Eclipse not his opponent, but I suspect that even this god-born beauty is not his opponent. Upstairs, you are the only one who can talk. Ha 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 ha. Witnessing Yumo's success with their own eyes, the clowns who were hostile to the country gritted their teeth in anger, and even smashed things in serious cases. Fake, fake, how can this kid's strength be so terrifying? A man who can conquer even a god descendant, I accept it. Baga, it seems that our hatred will never be avenged in this life. People of Yingzhong, please save yourself. Yi Yishi, he actually won the target of the god descendant. What a powerful national fortune reward Washa will get. Is there any way, everyone, so that I can go to Washa? I really want to be a Chinese person. And just when Washa's live broadcast room fell into darkness again, the bored viewers all over the world swiped the live broadcasts of other countries. Because once the ceremony is held, Yumo has to spend 4 or 5 hours. During this period, they were at a loss like headless chickens, and could only look for other live broadcasts to relieve their fatigue. At this time, most of the people had already gone to the live broadcasts of Yingzhong, Bangzigyu and Maoshangguo. Because now in the picture, the stick Li Bingxian is leading the Eagle Sauce Man Durant. Start a siege in the initial homeland of the Maoshang country player Stalonef. Hours ago, today's Li Bingxian and Durant got up early in the morning and began to form a team to explore the 8 random rooms they refreshed. I don't know if it's because Durant is the mud brother, but neither of them has registered a marriage room. You can only enter the white doors to explore. 4 monster rooms, the 2 worked together to kill the monster behind the door. He also got 2 pieces of equipment, one is the machete used by Durant, and he finally no longer needs to use that heavy stone axe. One is the windwalking boots that Li Bingxian had just put on, which improved his agility again. 2 resource rooms, the 2 found a little food and water. In a trap room, Durant was almost enveloped by a prison full of poisonous thorns and thorns. If Li Bing hadn't kicked him away in time, he would have been poisoned to death by now. The last empty room, nothing. The 2 looked at the 8 doors that had been explored with some disappointment. After the discussion, the plane shuttle was pressed. After a while of dizziness, the 2 came to a random player's home. What came into view was a bluestone hut that looked very stable, much better than the wooden hut they lived in now. There is also a small river, Li Wang's, flowing outside the hut, which can be used as a source of drinking water at a glance. Durant sighed as if he had never seen the world. What a beautiful house. If only this were my homeland. There was a greedy light in Li Bingxian's eyes. If we can recruit players who live here into our team, we'll be able to enjoy it together. If he doesn't agree, we can't let others enjoy such a good thing. Dulan pointed and nodded. Brother, you are right. The 2 walked forward immediately, and first drank a few mouthfuls of water by the small river. Then he stood up contentedly, and quietly touched the bluestone hut in front of him. The 2 pushed open the door of the hut, and immediately began to look around. Suddenly a female screamed, "Ah, who are you?" An exclamation was heard from the bedroom in the hut. Li Bingxian and Durant immediately looked in the direction of the voice. They saw a delicate woman in a light gauze with 2 antlers on her head appearing in front of their eyes. Gift crab. Dear girl, Durant suddenly exclaimed, looking at the faintly visible veil at this moment, he could clearly outline the woman's hot figure. As a mud brother, he immediately had a man's reaction. Li Bingxian also saw that his mouth was drooling, but he calmed down and asked, "Which country player are you married to? Be honest, or else." After finishing speaking, Li Bing first directly pulled out his simple knife. Pointing to the dear girl in front of her, she said, "The name of the dear girl is Lusha, and she is the wife of Mao Shangguo Stolmanef who met in the marriage room yesterday. Her strength is only D+, after completing the ceremony yesterday. It brought the Maoshang country a national fortune reward that the temperature rose by 10 degrees Celsius in winter. It also increased the lifespan of the citizens of Maoshang Kingdom by 1 year, and the attribute of Min+1 was improved. Although the effect is small. But this is the first time that the citizens of Maoshang Kingdom have received the National Games Award. That's why the Mao Bear citizens love Lusha very much. But I didn't expect that after Stalonef went out to explore today. For some unknown reason, 2 uninvited guests broke into his home garden." Lusha's expression was terrified at this time. Looking at the sharp pudao in front of her eyes, she immediately said tremblingly, My husband is a player from Maoshang Kingdom. His name is Strangif. I advise you not to mess around. He is really strong." Li Bing first glanced at Durant. Hairy Bear Country. The Bear Country and our country have always been hostile. Do you think he'll work with us? Certainly not. All of their fighting nations hate us. So brother, what do you mean? You know, watching Li Bingxian and Durant talking to themselves there, saying some things they couldn't understand. Lusha was terrified and wanted to jump out of the window and escape. But he was immediately stopped by Li Bing, who had quick eyesight and quick hands. Durant, anyway, we're going to kill the man from Maoshang Kingdom later. Why not enjoy his wife? Eat all the things in his house again. Durant looked at Li Bingxian who was pressing Lusha to the ground, his eyes were full of worship. Brother is mighty. Lusha was firmly pressed to the ground by Li Bingxian's powerful force, and she shouted in horror. Help! Help! Go away! In broad daylight, Li Bingxian and Durant directly started their atrocities. Because they are not married to Lusha. So anyone watching Bangzigu, Yingzhong and Maoshangguo, you can see the scene where Li Bingxian and Durant used Lusha. Seeing this disgusting scene, the citizens of Bangxi Kingdom and Yingzhong said in horror. Are these two idiots going to QJ another player's wife? Fake, don't they know that Mao Shangguo's general shock can't be provoked? These two people. Ziba, how long has it been since these two men have seen a woman? Yi Yishi, it's over, we will definitely suffer from Mao Shangguo's revenge. Beast, how could they do such a thing? Didn't you see that this Durant is a muddy guy? And Mao Shangguo was already outraged by the whole country at this time. You actually came here to sneak attack when Stolenov was not at home. Are you still men? How dare you do such a thing to the marriage partner of our Maoshang player? Wu, Stolenov, you go home. Your house was stolen. Fu was shocked. Great elder. Can you bear this? Hu Dejing, who was watching the live broadcast, was furious at this moment, and directly slapped the table in front of him. How dare Yingzhong's black dog and Bangzigu's toothpick do such a thing to our Maoshangguo? How many atomic bombs do we have left? And just when Li Bingxian and Durant were enjoying the thrill of violence against the dear girl Lusha, Stolenov, who happened to be back from exploring, happily returned to his homeland with 2 rabbits. As soon as he entered the home plane, Sterang, he heard Lusha's cry immediately. Holding a hunting knife, Strangif immediately understood that something had happened, and roared angrily. Lusa, but Li Bingxian, who had finished his work, was still admiring Durant's atrocities. Stand up immediately after hearing the voice. Hurry up, and deal with that bear countryman with me. Durant was still sprinting violently at this time, and said to Li Bing first. Brother, I'm just getting started. Li Bingxian said angrily. Do not talk nonsense. Storenef, who rushed to the door, watched an Asian man suddenly appear in his home. Then I saw a guy who just lifted his pants. As if struck by lightning, Storenef suddenly understood. I'm going to kill you guys. Then he swung the hunting knife and slashed at Li Bingxian and Durant. Li Bingxian narrowed his eyes slightly, and immediately exploded his speed, and easily dodged Stolonev's attack with his dexterous figure. He pulled out the simple knife directly, and slashed it on Stolev's calf. Stolev uttered a cry of pain, but at the same time released the skill he married yesterday, Gale. The strong wind immediately knocked Li Bing to the ground. Enduring the pain, Storenef slashed at Li Bingxian. But at this time a long knife stopped him, and Dulan rescued Li Bingxian in time. Then he kicked Strumpf in the chest. Kick this 2-meter-tall white man to the ground. Li Bing first clutched his aching chest, and immediately activated the skill, Berserk angrily. After the attribute sword, he picked up the simple knife again and slashed at Stolenef. Stolenef was no match for 4 hands with 2 fists, and was hacked to death on the spot by Ji Bingxian, who was stronger than him, and his younger brother Durant. After the 2 killed Stolenef, they immediately mentioned the 2 hares that Stolongif had brought back. And quickly, the bluestone hut that was about to collapse due to the player's death robbed resources. Use the plane shuttle to travel back. Detected the death of a player in Maoshang Kingdom. 10 minutes later, Maoshang Kingdom will randomly generate a disaster. After the disaster is over, select players to enter the game factory again. Seeing this scene, the citizens of Maoshang Kingdom were furious. Haigui and Bangxi, we Maoshang Kingdom will definitely let you die. Disaster is about to strike again, everyone start praying. This bloody revenge, our Pu Dejing will help us avenge it. HMPH, Yingzhong, Bangzigu, you must die. Where's our atomic bomb? Hurry up and blast it there. And it was at this time that the furious officials of Maoshang Kingdom also started to act. The password box for launching the atomic bomb appeared again in front of Pu Dejing. Pu was shocked without any hesitation, nor did he care about any loss of national strength. 3 atomic bombs were fired directly at the 2 cities of Yingzhong and the southern area of Bangxi country. Watch the atomic bomb strike. Yingzhong and Bangzigu panicked completely. Although Eagle Sauce lost all their nuclear weapons, their defense system still exists. It turns out that Mao Shangguo actually launched an atomic bomb directly. Come here. The Eagle Sauce official who lost the Great Elder Bai Deng immediately issued an order to defend and intercept by the military minister. But at the same time, it dealt with the 3 atomic bombs that bombed the 2 adjacent cities of Jujinshan and Luoshan at the same time. Yin Yang's defense system is still very difficult. Finally, at the moment when 3 atomic bombs entered Yingzhong's airspace, Yingzhong's defense system barely managed to intercept 2 atomic bombs at high altitudes in the 2 cities. But there was one that exploded right in the center of Luoshanji. The bustling city instantly turned into ruins, and countless Eagle doctors died under the bombing of this atomic bomb. And Bangzigu is even worse, as Yingzhong's licking dog. Their defense systems are all eliminated by Eagle Sauce. It is impossible to effectively intercept the atomic bomb. In the end, when 3 atomic bombs bombed, only one was successfully intercepted. The remaining 2 bombs slammed into the southern part of Bangxi country. And Bangxi country is a very tiny land with a very small land area. The 2 atomic bombs swallowed countless cities in an instant, and many Bangxi people were instantly wiped out. Yingzhong and Bangzigu, who suffered such revenge from Mao Shangguo, immediately issued an international statement. The statement is bound to launch military retaliation against Mao Shangguo. But after seeing the statement issued by the 2 countries, Pu Mao, the elder of Shangguoda, responded dismissively. Fight if you want, anyway, Yingzhong has lost all nuclear weapons now. Bangxi Kingdom has no combat effectiveness. If there is a fight, Mao Shangguo will definitely not hold back. This is what Yingzhong and Bangzigu owe them. The Chinese citizens who watched and ate melons discussed one after another. You have to be shocked. Kill our players, and we will take revenge on you directly in reality. That Mud Brother and Bangxi did such a disgusting thing, it's only natural for Pu Dejing to take revenge like this. If Mao Shangguo really fights with Yingzhong and Bangzigu, where will their battlefield be? It doesn't matter, as long as it doesn't infringe on our Chinese territory, let them do what they want, maybe we will help Mao Shangguo. That's right, with our current national strength in China, plus every Chinese citizen who has improved a lot of attributes, which Congress is our opponent now. In the Huasha official meeting room, the relevant staff sent 3 notification letters from different countries to the Great Elder. They are the letters of request from Yingzhong and Bangzigu officials asking for help from Huasha officials and asking China to maintain justice. And the explanation letter sent by Mao Shangguo's official, explaining that China does not need to intervene in this matter, and Mao Shangguo can solve it by itself. The Great Elder first read Mao Shangguo's explanatory letter. Then smiled slightly. He looked at Yingzhong and Bangzigu's distress letters again, and then threw them into the trash can next to him as waste paper. Then he said to the heads of the relevant departments, I have never seen such a brazen person. Oh no, the country of brazenness. The heads of all relevant departments are aware of the current international situation. They immediately understood what the Great Elder said, and they laughed along with them. One of the officials asked, Elder, if Yingzhong and Bangzigu really attack Mao Shangguo at the same time, what should we do? The Great Elder said calmly. It doesn't matter, just shoot when it's time to shoot. When you shouldn't make a move, just sit on the mountain and watch the tiger fight. In the game world, Huasha's live broadcast finally recovered. In the picture, Xinyuwu, a beauty of divine descent who is overwhelmed by the country and the city, is full of mystery. At this moment, she is nestling on Yumo's chest like a little bird. Yumo stretched out his hand to help her straighten her messy hair, and gently lifted her up. The citizens of Huasha counted the time and exclaimed, Niu beep, my god, it's been more than 4 hours. I timed it, and it took God a total of 4 hours, 38 minutes and 14 seconds this time. Upstairs, you are a bit perverted. But this data is really amazing. As expected of our Huasha Shengguang, unlike those 1-minute sticks and 2-minute Asan. Yu Shenzhen really gave us Chinese men long faces. And the game system also showed a text. Congratulations to the player for completing the ceremony. Player's personal reward. God Spirit Control Power SS Player Life plus 40, Body, Strength, Agility, Intelligence, Charm plus 60. Acquired Skills. Erosion Summoning SS God's Punishment Curse S. Reward for Chinese nationals. God Corrosion Spirit Guardian SS within the territory, All nationals have lifespan +6, wisdom +6, charm +8. Each Chinese citizen can summon a corroded spirit with the same strength as himself. This national games rewards all Chinese nationals, and those who have no sense of belonging to China, hate China, or intend to betray China cannot enjoy it. Yumo was shocked. This is the first time he has seen the S-level personal rewards and national sports rewards. 20 years of life just lost. Now another 40 years of life are added immediately. What's even more exaggerated is that all attributes directly increased by 60 points. Yumo immediately opened his personal data to check. Player. Yumo. Personal reward. God. Spirit controlling power SS. National fortune reward. God erosion spirit guardian S. Attributes. Body 181 to 241, strength 236 to 296, sensitivity 174 to 234, wisdom 216 to 276, charm 116 to 176. Skills. Summoning spirits S. You can summon spirits to fight according to your own intelligence attributes. Curse of God's retribution SS. Create a suppressive effect on the enemy and absorb 50% of the opponent's attributes, lasting for 2 minutes. Equipment. Benlei Genshin Artifact Dream Gossip Pendant Epic Level. www. Fear. At this time, my attributes can only be described as extremely terrifying. The strength and intelligence attributes, which are the main indicators of attack, are ready to break through 300. Yumo can't even imagine how powerful his attack power is now. 241 points of physical attributes, even if I don't activate any defensive skills now. Those monsters whose strength is below B+ may not be able to scratch a little bit of their own skin when they attack themselves. With a sensitivity of 234, it is estimated that this speed is a blink slower than when using the skill to teleport. There is an illusion that Yumo feels that he is about to become a Super Saiyan. And the national fortune rewards he brought to Huasha made him even more excited. Each Chinese citizen can summon an eclipse spirit with the same strength as himself. What concept would that be? Whether in war or in daily life, there is an eclipse spirit with the same attributes as himself to help him. How much strength will be improved and how much efficiency will be improved? An army of 10,000 people suddenly had 10,000 more stocks in the course of the battle. So what fear does this army have when facing any strong enemy? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.